asking for so long. Oh, I am in your head, so tell me, is it wrong? Oh, you fell under my spell, so well, so well. Oh, you fell under my spell, so well, so well. You fell under my spell now, my spell. You fell, my spell, my spell. You fell under my spell now, my spell, my spell. My spell, my spell, my spell, my spell. You fell under my spell now, my spell, my spell, my spell, my spell. You fell under my spell. You fell under my You fell under my spell now. You fell under my spell, my spell. What I feel, my spell inside, my spell. I know it's right. My spell, what I can, my spell, and I hide, my spell, might steal under my spell. My spell, my spell. You fell under my spell now. My spell, my spell. You fell under my spell now. You fell under my
Playoff season in the FDL is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and anything is possible. Good evening, everybody. I am Rhino. It's a pleasure to be with you, joined by Galloway, who is going to be our streamer for the evening. Galloway, oh man, this just feels right. This just feels right. This feels so good. How are you, my guy? I've been here. I've been here. You muted me, Galloway. Oh no, you're muted. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I don't know. Sounds right.
Yep. Hold on, wait. And we got Rhino boy.
I was saying, I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad my intro was caught. That's okay. That's absolutely fine. But Galloway, as I mentioned, we have got playoffs action. It is Stealth versus Courage, as always in the quarterfinals. Griffins versus Owls, two teams that have had some really interesting results this season. Griffins on an even 5-5 record. Owls on a 6-4. Galloway, this game really could go either way.
It could. I mean, this is a very powerful team from the Griffins. I mean, extremely powerful. But a joke that we've had running through the season that you wouldn't know of is the three-lettered Hitman squad. Xe and AFK from the Owls, which is 4 letters, but if you take away the S, it's a 3-lettered animal. So, I mean, it is... Oh, it's a powerhouse for sure. And Rhino, there's only one thing... I want to get into the game. I want you to do it. I want you to take us into
Okay. Well, I've just told the players to join up, which means that we will be getting this best of 7 in the FDL playoffs underway. It's Saturday night. This is exactly where your weekend begins. FDL action. 4 players in the server. Only 2 can take home the victory. Will it be the Owls? Will it be the Griffins? 5-minute starts right now.
And we start off with Ollie taking it off against the kickoff, but it will be stopped instantly by XEFK. Now going to go off the side of the wall, but try and slow it down, get control of this ball. Beats out of 50, but it is sent into the opposite corner. Thugs getting boost, getting ball. Trying to get it past the AFK, but no dice.
No dice on this occasion. It's Ollie working down the left. Hang on, AFK's picked his target on the sidewall. Big big 50 victory in front of the goal line. And it's an early lead for the Owls.
An absolute monster dunk. Slam jam coming from AFK off the cylinder, off the wall. Close enough either way from both of them. Get a double touch dunk to give that Owls the early lead. GM of Goop screaming into the chat for sure. But Griffins trying to fight hard. Almost getting that demo on AFK, which would have been huge. Trying to, but AFK survived. Surviving and thriving.
Absolutely. Thriving, surviving, all of the good words. As this is now Zuggs over to the left-hand side. Gonna try and beat out Exy. That's a big beat on the sidewall. Ollie's got an empty net. And he surely does know now at this point that he's got a goal for the Griffins side. Came in last minute, gets in the server and gets the opening goal for his side. 1-1.
All tied up, not even a minute in, and there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of action on both sides of the field, but can't count either one of these teams out because within 4 minutes still remaining, we have an action-packed lineup that is just waiting to get more goals. Turn us into the OK Corral, but that will be saved by Zuggs. Ollie, no boost, gonna try to challenge it. We'll win, but it's gonna be a bump in the favor. Well, never mind, it's another bump that killed him.
Happens, absolutely. Zuggs, a nice fake. AFK still sticking with the play. Ooh. Ollie's got a chance, but he gets turned away, and it was a double commit coming through from the Griffins, which normally, as you're playing threes, is pretty simple. You know, you can definitely recover from that. When you're playing twos and you double commit, well, that is a whole nother story. Zuggs trying to get this one through. Exy, big block off, trying to take the shot from the angle, not going to find it as Ollie starts to work down the left-hand flank, has Zuggs behind him. Ollie trying to be the battering man, but peels away now. Fake from Zuggs, good clearance by Exy, and maybe now there's a chance for the counter-attack for the Owls, but Ollie tracks it well.
Indeed, he tried to stall it out to himself, but immediately on there was the Owls. Now AFK getting a demo, gonna make it where he has to get to that ball quickly, and Ollie will get to 50. This works out favorably to Zuggs, but Ollie can't quite get to it to put a shot on target. Gonna allow this Owls team to get boost and try to collect the ball, but Ollie's still being very disruptive. Doing great things for that Griffins team, but Owls still very, very much on this ball, trying to make stuff happen. A good dodge on the demo, a great pass, but crossbarred.
Yeah, and this now is going to be Ollie working down that right-hand side. Maybe not the highest performer for the Griffins this season, but doing some work for them here in the servers. Zuggs now going to have to try and recover. He certainly has been performing well, but that one is going to go by the wayside. A huge challenge from Exy right on the goal line again. Aggression from the Owls pays off. It's 2-1.
Indeed, indeed. Owls are doing a fantastic job at the halfway marker to get the pressure when they need it, put the challenges on when they need to do so. Griffins fighting hard for sure, but right now they are coming up a little bit short, but I have good hopes in the power of Ollie and his teammates to make some good things happen, especially on that beat there. But expecting an early challenge there, kind of played himself and then tried going for another 50, gets beat out in AFK, beating 2 players to extend that lead 3-1.
Fantastic work here from AFK. Takes the Griffins pocket, gets challenged early and just works around the side nicely. Gets the 3rd goal on the board for the Owls. And as you've said already, I know Goob is going to be absolutely thrilled in chat. And we've got a little bit of a late start there by Zuggs. This is going to be a chance as Zuggs does come back alive. Looking for the clearance. Going to be dealt with by Exy for the moment. Working into the corner. AFK in the midfield. Ollie wins that challenge, but there's not really any capitalization off it. 2v1 attempt as Exy manages to read that play perfectly on his own back wall. And he's going to send Ollie all the way back to the Griffins side of the field to try and deal with this ball.
Indeed, but without boost, he will lose control of that ball. Exy will be there to collect it. Tries to throw it down to his teammate. We got a little bit too close there for the offense to catch the ball. And that was a good pinch now to try to throw it the other way. Slow to control that ball, but was able to get that on his nose like a seal, balancing the ball in an aquarium and get it over the offense so it couldn't get shot. That almost goes in, but the combined efforts of both these Griffins keeps it out of their net. The Owls still attacking.
Both Owls and Griffins known for their wings, known for flying high, but at the moment it's the Owls who are flying highest. As Ollie now working down the right-hand side, trying to bring this one back for his side. Good save by Exy. Zuggs just waiting on this one, trying to get a more favorable position Can't really get that one to stick. Now Ollie's working back to collect this ball down that right side. A big pinch across field. Might favor Zuggs here. Exy's going to go back for boost instead, so Zuggs has the clearance, looking for the bump onto Exy. Can't find it, but Ollie at the back post does find a shot, but it's got all of the space. But it's got all the pace of a dying snail. That's what we're trying to say. And it will be sent clear. 30 seconds remaining. 2 goals to find for the Griffins. Maybe 3. Hits the post from AFK. Close, but not going to extend their lead to 3 just yet.
Indeed, and those words can sometimes be hard as they escort go away from you, but...
No kidding. Oh, very good.
Thank you. But because of that demo there, will stall out the offense. Owls still up by 2, so Griffins need to score. Now Zuggs beating 1, going up against Exy. Exy gets the save, but Ollie able to throw that in. It was 3 seconds left. We have a 1-goal differential. Kickoff goals have oftentimes been the situations that teams thought they're the most comfortable, most happy with. Then all of a sudden, boom, in your net, we're going to OT. Griffins certainly trying to make this happen. Let's be a very favorable. Zuggs throwing it off the crossbar. It's going to be too high. The teammate goes with it, and it falls short. We got game 1 going to the Owls. Rhino. Oh, so close to OT.
So close, Galloway. Oh my goodness. Griffins made us believe for a moment, but they always say it's the hope that kills you. Ollie just had to try and loft that one, but in the end, it rolls towards the net. I know Goob's heart would have skipped a beat. So would AFK and Exy's, to be fair. They'd have been a little bit concerned about that one. But such even scorelines from everyone in the server. Even number of shots as well. 8 from the Griffins to the 9 of the Owls. Relatively even number of saves as well. These two teams are so evenly matched, so well matched, that, I mean, it's so exciting to see where this game is going to go. Of course, in the regular season, these two teams did play against each other, and it was the Griffins to win out that day, with Zuggs and Burning Energy taking to the field that time against Exy and AFK. So this time, it's Zuggs and Ollie trying to take down the Owls side, and they've not been as locked in just yet, but of course it's early going in this best of 7.
Indeed, and with the best of 7, that means there's plenty of time for the momentum to swap either way, going back and forth. That pendulum ever swings. Right now, I can't really say that the pendulum is in anybody's favor. It is just so incredibly even, that match. It feels like the pendulum just sat there until somebody just happened to fall into it and make it shift ever so slightly towards the Owls. But speaking of things shifting, the kickoff does go in the favor. Owls was able to get there. Exy able to beat out Ollie, but nothing's really going to come from that. Exy now in a 1v1. A great save by Zuggs. Ollie's going to try to collect it, but instead Zuggs going to hit him into it. I love the team play, even if they're forced, Rhino.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. We want to see more team plays, whether they should be happening or not. That's the most important thing, is AFK working from the left. Does have the challenge onto Ollie, but it's a good clearance. Even on limited boost, Ollie still makes that play. Exy gets around 1. Now maybe looking for the team play here. Got to go alone, and Zuggs gets a hand up. Sends that one up onto the crossbar and able to send it away for the Griffins, and the pass through now. Zuggs in the air, trying to take on Exy. He's got the best of him, but the ball goes slightly wide. Ollie tries to find the angle. Oh, meeting of the minds. Exy and AFK not really working together, working separately from each other. But they do clean this one up. Maybe not well enough. Zuggs is lurking. Ollie's right there. Exy's got no boost, and Ollie finds the opener in game number 2.
An absolutely beautiful team play that we were talking about coming from the Griffins here. Zuggs forcing his empty boost hands to kind of just try to trail that ball as far out as he could. But with him chasing him down, not much he could do. A well-earned goal from this Griffins team, a minute and 2 seconds in. But with time now back going, the Owls trying to take advantage of this kickoff. Exy will put off the back wall. Ollie is there to clear it, but instantly challenged by Exy. Will throw that back. No boost, however, and it will get cleared into the Owls' corner. Zuggs trying to take out the team. Does get 1, but can't get past the second man. Great rotational defense, and that will give the Owls possession and the offensive chance once more.
Yeah, Exy maybe missed a trick there, not taking the boost. Ollie was really limited in the tank. And Exy decided to go for the ball instead. Zuggs going to take a shot here. AFK, not a lot of boost either, but enough to send this one away. Zuggs into the middle. AFK pinching it with him. to that far corner. Now picking up the 100. Will get there before Ollie just about. Exy into the middle. Beautiful cut across the goal into the bottom left corner. Owls back in it 1-1.
An absolute beautiful pass from AFK. Fantastic placement from Exy. Great job to be there for his teammate, but also a great job to place that out of reach of the defender, who was not doing bad himself positioning. He was rotating well coming off of that, or coming back from offense to get into there, but just a little bit behind, couldn't quite do so from that placement. However, Griffins now walking the dog with Exy on his hood, trying to make something happen here, but AFK get control, beats out Ollie. Zug's gonna try to cut in early, tries to fake out AFK. I love that, but we'll give a shot off, but it will get saved. And it's just, Owls are trying to close in on their prey right now, boy, but Griffins are doing a fantastic job of not just flying out of the reach, but also running out of the reach for those 4 legs.
Yeah, those mental plays that you see downfield, they mean so much more in a 2s game than they do in 3s. I mean, you saw it at the major in the 1v1, right, between Morksy and Yan. Those two put on an incredible showing 1v1, and it's all about getting the better of your opponent mentally. How many fakes does it take until they start to bite? How many times can you get away with something like that? And Zugs, I mean, he's not going to be able to hit one of these every single time. Used all of the boost he had, got the reset, sent it into the ground, followed through beautifully. And that's one of the goals of the playoffs already, and we're only in week 1.
That is an absolutely gorgeous play there. Give this team the lead in game 2, one that they really want after that disappointing goal not going their way in game 1. But that's going to be a great shot. Great 50, sends it to the corner. Zugs will get control of this ball. Lays it patiently, seeing how Exy's not challenging, but does get the bump, which will throw him off of it. But back on it once more, will force this ball even further down. Ollie now cutting it off, throwing it mid, but Owls with that demo will get the advantage here. That's going to be put in mid. Just got to get his teammate on it, but teammate not enough boost. Too much momentum. Will go over it. Ball now getting pushed out into a shadow defense, and Rhino close. Great demo by the Owls. Great setup. Just could not quite finish it.
Got to finish their dinner, and Zugs plays that one across. Wow, the Owls are knocking on the door. It's not being answered just yet. AFK trying to get the better of Zugs. A demo play attempted by Ollie. Doesn't work. Big pinch in from Zugs. Ollie won't beat Exy, and now there's a 2v1. Exy going through, looking for the bump, doesn't find it. Might not matter, no! Zugs comes up big on defense to keep the scoreline 2-1. Tries to turn this one around, goes for another bump play. Ollie sends it into the air. It will be Exy to deal with it on that left wall. Starting to work around, and he's taking a little bit too long. Zugs read that one every day of the week. Big pinch across. And with time dwindling, Galloway, this one just feels like the Griffins have it locked down.
Indeed they do, but I'm not going to count up this Owls team. This 3-letter hit squad that I've talked about has pulled plenty of games out of their wings whenever it looked like it might actually be dire for them. But with this attempt here, that's going to go a little bit wide. Will give them the chance to now turn this into a 2v1 briefly. Never mind, Ollie coming out of the heavens says no deal. It's still a 2v2.
Those early cuts have been absolutely killer for the Griffins. The Owls have got no answer to it at all. Exy gets the reset, decides to go low, isn't going to use his teammate, might be a problem. AFK needs to keep this ball alive on his own because Exy is so far away. And the Griffins level the series. It's not a best of 7 anymore, Galloway. We're down to a best of 5.
Indeed, back to regular season settings. We are best of 5. And in the best of 5s, we know what happened. We know who won last. We will see if we get a redo of history here between these two teams. But to break down this very even game, 5 saves coming out from Zugs, which is massive. Give this guy 700 points. But 7 shots on both teams, right? Both of them were equally there on offense and almost equally on the defense as well. Just that one save that Owls didn't get to match Griffins could have been the one that kept them to OT territory. It'll be interesting to see if the Owls can just pick up that offense, go more into that 2v1 offense we saw them wanting to do. We saw them trying to get the demos, trying to spread them apart. But game 3 will tell us how it goes.
And that stat is exactly what I want to talk about, Galloway. It's 3 demos on the side of the Owls to 0 on the side of the Griffins. The Owls are getting their elbows out. They are making the Griffins aware of them every single step of the way. And the Griffins are dealing with it. They are dealing with that aggression. And in fact, they're using it to their advantage. I'd like to now see the Owls actually get one of those demos that is meaningful on the back lines, work together as a unit to be able to take out the last defender or something from the Griffins, rather than get these demos around the field that eventually become inconsequential. We'll see exactly how they manage to adapt in this game number 3. The Griffins, they don't really need to change much from the game plan, I'd say. They've been working great, and they've even got another demo to boot.
Oh, indeed, and he tried to set his teammate up with a very slow ball up the mid while he goes for the demo. Couldn't quite pull it off, but AFK almost able to slot that in. But Ollie denying it as if he's at the post office and they didn't stamp it properly. Just sending it right back out, just barely. Exy trying to take the advantage and trying to press it. We'll get challenged. Zucks, no boost, however, we'll get beat. This will set up the Owls for a shot. Ollie's spending all of his boost. Zucks backwards gets the save. But no boost will slow this down, Rhino, and a couple of very close shots for the Owls, but neither one of them going in.
Exy had so much time, I don't think he realized it. In front of net, you've got one goalkeeper in front of you. Where do you hit the ball? Is it A, on the left, B, on the right, or C, directly at the goalkeeper? If you answered C, you are playing the game wrong, my friend. That is not how you want to be doing it. As this one now is going to be Ollie working around the right-hand side. Big interception from AFK. Exy doesn't have the boost to challenge Zugs. So now this is going to be AFK to collect. Working off that backboard. Going low, getting the better of Ollie. Zugs coming over. AFK doesn't pick up the boost, though. Leaves it now to Exy. That top Sal, that top performer, working off the top, trying to find a teammate. Ollie pushes to the side.
Zugs going for the boost. Is able to get on that ball. It bumps the Owls player into the ball, which beats his teammate. Setting Zugs up for the open net in the longest first goal we've had of the series so far. Almost 2 full minutes in. Zugs doing a fantastic job, and he kind of fell into greatness there. He was flipping and flopping into that corner, trying to just get the boost that could put a challenge, but due to the awkwardness that ball had, gave him the perfect chance to set that up. But Owls still trying to fight back. But Rhino, this Griffins team are just locking them down on defense right now.
Yeah, you have to say that I really put that goal down to a little bit of mispositioning by the Owls. You can't have both of your teammates in that same kind of area of the field. Was unlucky the way the ball bounced, but at the same time, luck is, sometimes a little bit of skill as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I would suggest that that spacing between the Owls players just was not what they were going to be looking for. However, they've still got time. Half the game left to play. And they're only 1-0 down. Plenty of time. Exy into the middle. Doesn't have a lot of boost. Maybe looking for a bump play. Isn't going to find anything. And now we'll start working backwards. But AFK beats Ollie on that sidewall. Now working around the left. Tried to get the pinch into the middle. But Zugs will clear without too many problems.
Indeed. And I really like what Zug was doing there, too. A little bit of mind gaming on the defense. Bake's going for the 50 just to bait him into the corner for a better challenge by his teammate. All the more time to rotate and grab boost. It's just the mindset of these two from Griffins are just on point right now. But AFK doing a fantastic job on defense. Was able to send it out. But Ollie proving he went to gym today. Winning now 2 50s. Although it was eventually won out by the Owls. So he went to gym, but he skipped leg day apparently. We know how that does not work in the favor. But Owls are still not looking bad. They are down, Rhino. But it feels like it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it is rough, isn't it, when you see those guys who, they come back from the gym and their arms are huge and their chest is huge. They got a 6-pack, and then it looks like they've got twigs where their legs should be. Like that, that's really rough when you just understand. Yeah, okay, we get it. Leg day's not great, but you still got to do it. It's still important to the overall physique. Either way, it's going to be Exy. Big booming clearance now. Zug's on the retreat. Going to send that one over to the other side. We'll collect, and I think the Owls maybe not quite the urgency that I'd like to see from them at this point. 50 seconds remaining. You're 1-0 down. You've got to score, and you're not going to do like that as Ollie gets a demo onto Exy. AFK wants to keep the pressure on. Ball into the middle. Zug clears away. Chance for Exy off the backboard. Needs a second, needs a third. Gets the reset. Can't do much. And he's just playing tennis with himself off that backboard. And that's not the game we're trying to play here. We're trying to play some Rocket League. Galloway.
Indeed, we are Rocket League with the shot. It's going to target. That's where we're going to find its way in. The defense a little too slow to react. Ollie just barely out of reach. A fantastic pass from Exy to AFK. AFK, who has been AFK on the scoreboard this game, has finally brought us into a tied ball game with 24 seconds remaining. I would have to say that this steal with that looks favorable for the Griffins, who have locked down this Owls team for so long. But you and I have seen plenty of times, my friend, just how quickly a team who's finally found the score and to be able to open up the rest of it, this could set them up, Rhino, but it is played to the corner.
Griffins are not going to mind going OT. It's been quite a barrage of Owls pressure, and it looks like it will continue right the way down to the final second. AFK keeps the ball in the air. Demo comes through. Ollie can't do much. Zuggs gets it on the ground. And a moment to breathe for the Griffins, trying to put the Owls on ice. And a fake kickoff they're going to hope is going to do that.
Indeed, if he can beat AFK here, it's a free goal, but AFK doing a fantastic job on defense. Will put this ball out. Zuggs stealing the boost from him. Was able to get the ball. Goes for the ground pinch 50. Does not win it. Actually getting the boost. Getting it over. Ollie goes for demo on Zuggs. Does not get it. Will allow Zuggs to get the clear after so narrowly dodging that demo. Ollie trying to play out of the corner. It's actually played perfectly for Zuggs, but he turned around not expecting the boomer to go straight to him. Zuggs in the air, going off the ceiling. Will get turned away by the AFK. Actually getting beat. This could actually set them up huge, Rhino. If he can get that demo, if he can get the bump, gets passed down to Zuggs. Zuggs going high for it. Sends it wide and barely avoids it. Ollie follow up. They're saved, and the Owls remain alive in game 3.
It's a good thing AFK was not the same as his namesake on that play. Wonderful work in net. Ollie goes for the bumper now. What was a load of Owls pressure has turned completely 180 degrees. And it's all Griffins at the start of OT. But AFK able to stand tall. Zuggs taking the boost away from his teammate. And now working to try and get this one away from Exy. AFK waiting in the wings. Gets a touch. Gets a double. Ollie almost scoring an own goal. Exy surely will finish off the crossbar. AFK drops it down. And finally someone finds their shooting boots. Just under the crossbar. Owls find a 2-1 lead in both the game and the series.
Indeed, an AFK flying high, as Owls love to do, coming in there and finally able to sink that past the defense of the Griffins. They're doing a fantastic job there. And it is still such an evenly matched game between these two. Of course, you can say because they've all been 1-goal games. But I mean, 4 saves apiece. Almost identical shooting, just barely different. Griffin's not getting as many shots this time, which seems to be the huge difference, Rhino. The Owls did a good job at kind of eliminating what the Griffins were able to do there in game 2. And I think that made the huge difference, especially not letting Ollie become that supportive role that he needed to be.
And I know I talked about it at the end of game 2, but I'm going to talk about it again after game number 3. Demos lose games, apparently. I don't get it. Game number 2, the only team to commit any demos were the Owls. They lost. Game number 3, the only team to commit any demos were the Griffins. They lost. The strategy to winning a game in this series, by the looks of things, is don't demo your opponents, which is completely opposite of what I would actually recommend anybody does. But in this specific series, in this specific game, both of these teams are able to deal with those one-player deficits and turn them around, or at least make the save, at least make the defensive play. We'll see what happens in this game number 4, as it looks like the Owls are going to take an early lead. Indeed, they are, with AFK at the back post. The kickoff goal is not something that we've seen a lot of in this series, but we finally get one in the 4th game.
Indeed, we do. We have talked about kickoff goals here and there, especially in game 1. But one finally happening here at the very beginning. You know what? I'm not going to say it's inconsequential by no means, but a kickoff goal is one that you can kind of wash.
Oh no!
Away. Oh no! Hey, everybody, let's test Rhino Boy. Hey Rhino, what does that mean right there? Eagles moment, baby!
Oh,
The own goal from the Eagles.
Yeah,
Owls,
thank you. Yeah.
the Owls trying to steal their identity, but you know,
I failed the test, man. I've been gone too long.
it's
sad.
just not the same without you, man. But we
I
still
know.
love you. Just like Zuggs loves the fact that they own goal to tie them up.
Oh.
But no boost on
AFK.
any one of these Owls or Griffins. But Griffins were able to clear it, and Rhino Boy Owls now on the reset.
Yeah, here comes Exy. Working down the right, has Zuggs and Ollie in front of him, both on full boost, but he won't know that. Ball into the middle, Ollie's taking it through. Zuggs looking for the demo, will get the better of Exy. What a save! Exy still gets a hand up to it and puts it onto the crossbar. That is ridiculous.
Absolutely insane, but Zuggs now going to beat out AFK, but Exy is there to get a nice, easy clear. Ollie going to pressure it, but gets the boost from him. It's able to try to push it across. AFK goes for Ollie, trying to get the demo. It looks like he actually went for the ball over the demo, which I mean, kind of crazy. I guess they took what you said to heart about demos are equaling a losing team in this series. Because right there, if you could clear them off that ball, that would have been a nice, easy setup for the Griffins, I would think. But they're the ones in the lead. They're the ones right now in the finals. I'm the one here yapping my head off. Maybe they know something I don't.
Yeah, hang on a moment. Owls break through. Just not able to find the shot. All 4 players in the server.
Ooh.
Oh, AFK! I mean, there are dunks and there are extra mustard dunks. And that one is the latter. Beautiful on over Zuggs. Ollie had no idea whether he was coming or going. Owls take a 2-1 lead.
He says, I'm the Oreo, you're the glass of milk, and I'm dunking in there to get that ball into the net to take that lead. But Griffins right here on the goal line of the Owls, trying to get it center. It does go center off of 50, but Zuggs not there. But have to rush back. AFK barreling down, does get a shot. The save is there by Zuggs again. And AFK just barely able to keep it out. And I may have stressed my throat there for that one, but man, that just shows you how intense this series is.
Hype levels a little too high for the esophagus to deal with on the Galloway part, but either way, we love it here on stream. Zuggs out of the corner, gets the better of Exy. It's AFK now tracking back. Zuggs slowing the attack, getting the better of Exy a second time. I think that's why he slowed down, you know. He was just like, I want to really take the mickey out of Exy again. Just a second time in this play. But Exy, he's going to have the last laugh. Surely he's going to put this one into the top left. And Exy says, you can humiliate me all you like. You can send me to get new axles at the garage all the time if you want. But the only important thing is, I'm scoring goals. 3-1 to the Owls.
The Owls indeed will be taking that. It does not matter what is said, what kind of mockery happens. In the end, it matters about the score. And he says he likes that end of it better. Zuggs trying to beat Exy. Exy is there on top of it. Ollie's going to have to take his time to get control, but AFK coming in for, Exy coming in for the demo, was able to get it, but knock it off. Zuggs grabs the boost and throws it back to his teammate, grabbing another boost from his teammate. That might hole out the offense here. We'll have to see what Ollie is able to do. Was able to beat the first guy, but hitting in a fantastic clear. Griffins now on the defense, trying to clear this out. Zuggs, big 50. Ollie going to have to try to take his time here, but will kind of get played in the way that Exy wanted, but in the end, not quite. But it's very good, solid back and forth defense and offense.
Yeah, it's a little bit chaotic coming into the end of this. The game number 4, AFK. Millimeters away from getting a 4th on the board for the Owls. They do already have a little bit of daylight between themselves and the Griffins. Zuggs trying to cut that down.
Oh, no!
Oh, my goodness. A meeting of the minds again. Exy off the crossbar twice. The Owls have done that too many times for my liking, Galloway. They really struggle to have communication in those moments in the backlines. They've already scored an own goal at some point. I mean, they almost scored another one there.
Indeed, and that just goes to tell you just the amount of pressure that these Griffins are able to do whenever they're in a 1v1 situation or even a 1v2. The amount of pressure they can put in is amazing. Just like there with Zuggs bumping the first player once more, allowing his teammate Ollie to get a nice, clear, and easy shot to throw that past Exy, who wasn't quite ready, thinking his teammate maybe, just maybe, Rhino would be having a chance to jump up and clear that ball, or at least contend it. And that will bring that daylight to a close. We are now just a short step away from being a tied game.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Owls have Goob to thank for that goal going in. Said Owls are a brick wall tonight in chat. And everyone knows that chat curse is just as potent as caster curse, okay? It has the same rules. And oh my goodness, double commit from the Owls. There's a real chance here. Zuggs just has to find the nets. And well, if they are a brick wall, it's more like the Berlin Wall at this point. It's being knocked down by these Griffins.
Mr. Gorber Griffins tear down that wall. We got Ollie and Zuggs coming in. A big demo, big stall by Ollie. Zuggs throwing that in to tie it up with 2 seconds more than the last time we had a tied game at this point. Or, yeah, last time we had a tied game. But
yeah,
with these two teams, with Griffins finding their wings, as they say, I'm feeling kind of hopeful for them and their sake to tie this series up, or even not tie it up, but to take it here in regulation to tie it up. But with AFK and Exy doing what they do best, we just might not see that happen, but it's going to be big. So it's just have to control it. Just got to throw it in, and he does! And Rhino, as I didn't want to actually caster curse it and throw it down, it seems I got closer to the caster blessing that. We do have Griffins taking this game in regulation.
I'm sorry, this is inexcusable. I did not come back to FDL to see a 3-1 lead with 1 minute on the clock get thrown away like yesterday's cheese. What on earth am I seeing? This is ridiculous. Owls, they've got to tighten up on defense. They are really looking shaky. Griffins, when they start getting rolling, they are making it look real bad for the other side. Now, both teams did have demos on this game, so we can't use the no demos rule.
Who had the most
But the team
demos?
that did have the fewest demos got the win. That was the Griffins. So, I mean, maybe we can take something from here. Maybe there's something. But Owls, man, you should be on series point right now. You should be on semi-final point. And the fact that the Owls are not really should annoy them. That should get under their skin. That should really make them angry and get them hyped and ready for next game. Because if they come in with the same energy that they finished that game number 4 with, they will lose this series.
You're absolutely right. And really, they kind of allowed the Griffins, or I don't want to say allowed the Griffins. The Griffins took a lot of liberties to create the situations themselves.
Sure.
But they allowed the Griffins to have too much liberties on that field. They did not cut them down enough to let them just do whatever they wanted to make their team plays happen, to have that ball with a lot of control. That's where we've really seen the Griffins be the most dangerous, is when you give them the time to control the ball, they create the opportunities and setups they want. They have to be on them like white on rice, like me at a cake buffet. Have to just be on them that quickly, Rhino.
Brother, we are there together, my friend. Absolutely. Yeah, that cake buffet sounds real good right now, even though it is 1 a.m. here for me, as AFK will try and get the Owls back into contention, back on the right track. A little bit of momentum required. They've just conceded 3 goals without reply. They simply must get the next goal in this game. But Ollie has other ideas. Griffins, 4 unanswered now from them. Send that one into the middle of the net. And with just under 50 seconds gone, it is the Griffins who lead 1-0.
Absolutely gorgeous control from Ollie, who almost no way you can predict that ball's going to come down like that. Just happened to be in the right position, and at that point was able to control it perfectly. To not only throw that into the net, but to also avoid his teammate who has fallen down helplessly. He was able to stall that out and not just throw that into him. That's the kind of patience and control, non-panicking we want to see from the Owls. But speaking of control, Exy able to get that ball up and over Zuggs, who was playing the shadow defense very well, but just a little bit too short to ride that ride and get the save.
Woo! That one flew into that top corner. Gracious me. That is an absolute bullet coming through from Exy there. As now, he's trying to get a little bit more. Gets past Ollie. Gets past Zuggs. That is wonderful. Exy, 2 extraordinary plays. One after the other. See you later, Ollie. See you later, Zuggs. Into the net. And wowee, Owls turn it on its head.
They did. You were talking about how they needed to, in that momentum of the Griffins, how they need to be the first to score. They said it does not matter, Mr. Rhino Cast, because here we are, score 3, unanswered, of our own. Exy getting another goal for this Owls team to really crank that tab open for this Owls team. They are on the mice line right now, just feasting on these Griffins.
Galloway, I've seen this scoreline before.
But there's more time on the clock. There's more time on the clock.
There's more time on the clock. Yeah, you're right. But if we don't get another goal for the next 2.5 minutes,
we'll have seen this.
then I've seen this movie before. Okay, we're not closing anything down just yet. But wow, Exy's just had an absolutely inspired 30 seconds of gameplay. Ridiculous, 3 goals in, as I say, about half a minute. Now Zuggs trying to get something going. AFK does enough for the moment, but doesn't do enough to get past Ollie, who steps up in this game number 5. Zuggs looks for that bottom corner, couldn't find it, but Ollie comes through with a very powerful finish. And Galloway, Griffins are back within 1.
Rhino, we've seen this movie before.
We've seen this movie before.
If that indicates anything, we will be seeing 2 more goals in about 30 to 45 seconds from this Griffins team. But we'll see if the Owls can change that script. But they are now having to rush back to defense. Avoids the demo, keep control of that ball, but does not get the finish he was looking for. Want to get the ground control, goes for the dump, or the bump. But Ollie coming in to bail him out. Good rotations from this Griffins. Actually now trying to do what he can to stall out, get control. Griffins with Zuggs now in the air. That's not where you really want to see him. He's going to go underneath. He's going to fake it, actually. Actually, using what precious boost he has. So it's AFK. Griffins are doing a fantastic job at boost over, but it does not matter with that pitch.
Woof. Ollie getting back just in time. Had to be right there on the scene to make sure that ball didn't find its way into his net, and did just that. AFK looking to drive, and Zuggs will be there after a nice bump from Ollie in the midfield. And now play slows down to a walking pace. Ball off the backboard. Ollie's been so good in that position today, but so has Exy in net. Making the save on the goal line. It wasn't the most powerful shot from Ollie IDK, but it was on target, and Exy had to deal with it, and Exy did indeed deal with it, moving back down the other end of the field. Both Griffins go for that. Problems now! AFK snipes the bottom left corner, and it's a new movie. It's got to be Elite Playoffs 2 Electric Boogaloo as 4-2 found on the scoreboard.
A new movie indeed. He was able to play the Griffins perfectly with both Griffins same location on the field right now. It is now the Griffins who are kind of getting tied up on defense. As Zuggs goes for 2 demos, doesn't get either. Will be a big fail. Finally gets this demo that he wanted. Will take out Exy. It's going to turn this into a brief 2v1. Zuggs unable to get it past the defense, and now gets demoed for a little bit of revenge art. This will allow the Owls to get control of this ball. Gets the boost, gets the flick. A little bit high. Zuggs, no boost. Trying to get control of this ball. Gets out patience. Great job 50 in there. Going to set up for another goal attempt, hopefully for the Owls, but Zuggs able to clear it. But neither Griffins has a lot of boost, as Zuggs was finally able to grab the corner.
Yeah, we may not have seen this exact scoreline, but we have seen 1 minute remaining. Griffins 2 goals down. That one has been played today. And now Zuggs looking for a bump play, maybe a demo play. Not going to happen. He's got time here. He's got the cuts. Oh, is history going to repeat itself? Maybe, just maybe, the Owls are going to get inside their own head. But a lovely boost steal from Zuggs turns the corner perfectly, finishes into an empty net. Galloway, it couldn't happen twice, could it?
You would think that, but I didn't bring you back for a boring series, so it just might. We'll have to see. The Owls would definitely have to be the ones to prove us here. But actually, saying I've had enough of the same plot line, I will take this ball off the kickoff and just throw it right over Zuggs' head to really contend against Ollie's challenge and just throw that in, making it 3-5. But we have still seen Griffins down by 2 with less than a minute, Rhino. I am still not convinced yet.
No, but that is one of those that's going to settle the nerves. With one goal in the 40 seconds or so, that one's going to scare you. That one's going to make you a little bit shaky in the knees. 2 goals in 20 seconds. That's going to take a Herculean effort, and maybe Zuggs is going to start moving that mountain up the hill. What? I'm sorry, guys. It's late.
Move the mountain up the hill.
The rock up the hill is what I'm trying to say. Either way, Xy's got the goal. 7 seconds, 3 goals. It's not going to happen. Owls take semi-final point.
Indeed, and we are now at match point. Owls finally there, where you said they should have been there last game, but now we are here finally. It is on the Griffins to win 2 games in a row to try to take this quarterfinals. Doug's going to try to get control, going to try to get that consolation one for the road. XE having other ideas, gets it up over Ollie, lays that one down, and we do have the final score line and the widest margin we have seen. Excuse me. The hype got stuck in my throat. The widest margin we've seen yet in the score line, with XE just blowing the 1,000-point Mile High Club out of the water.
Wow.
The 1,271, 6 saves, 6 shots, 5 goals. This man was doing a lot to really destroy that Griffins momentum, and he was doing it well, but it was still a tight series for the most part until they exploded at the end, where Griffins had to make stuff happen. So while I'm convinced, I think the Owls have a great shot, Rhino. But we've seen Griffins.
Well, let me tell you something, Galloway. They do if they don't get demos, because it's happened again. The team with the fewest demos is the team that's won the game. 1 demo on the side of the Owls, 3 on the side of the Griffins. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, Galloway, okay? I'm not here with my tinfoil hat on, but what I am saying, I am a data-driven man, all right? I'm seeing evidence in front of me, and as a scientist, as a man of firm beliefs in the scientific method, 4 positive reactions, that cannot be coincidence, Galloway. I refuse to accept it.
You know, you might be onto something in science. The more times you can get the same result on the same thing, it does tend to prove it, but you are also somebody called Cookies Biscuits, so I'm still hesitant. I'm picking on you. I love you, brother.
It's 1 a.m. It's 1, like, I didn't need that at 1 a.m. in the morning. That's very disrespectful.
You know what? I feel absolutely terrible.
Me and my culture.
You
You should.
I do.
You should.
I feel like I no longer belong in Zoo Crew after that. But I hope you keep me in there.
You don't have an animal in your name. What do you
I'm
mean?
a goose. I'm an honorary member at least.
An honorary member of Zoo Crew. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can be a keeper. That's all right.
I'll take it.
We'll welcome you in.
I'll take it.
You look after the animals. That's for sure.
You know what? That's fair. But speaking of looking after, AFK looking after the Owls, trying to get them in the lead, unable to quite do so. Doug now with control, beats him past 1. Can't get past XE. It's just Ollie on defense. Now going to have to play a little bit careful. Controls that ball, but gets 50 out by XE. Zug's able to keep it out from the front of the net, which is huge. But Rhino, both of these Griffins, low boost.
Yeah, and that could cause problems. XE off the backboard. Will get a second bite of the cherry. Cleared away for the moment by Ollie. Zuggs looking for the pass inside. AFK getting the better of his man. But Zuggs will clear it away to that far side. Team bumps will come through. Zuggs gets the clearance and a demo for the Owls. That means Griffin's advantage as AFK down this near side. Zuggs looks for the shot. It's XE who plays it into the corner. Now looking for this clearance away. Zuggs big interception. Ollie's not going to be there. No boost to speak of. But he is just going to shadow AFK as best as he can. Looks for the 50, nothing doing. XE, ball on Bonnet. Zuggs playing shadow. Does enough for the moment and should be able to clear this one away. Zuggs, big clearance down the left-hand side. But as I say, Owls have got a demo to their name, so I feel like the Griffins are going to score next unless they get a demo on their own side next, or unless they score now! Exy bottom right-hand corner. The scientific method is absolute rubbish. 1-0 to Owls.
Hey, it's not rubbish quite yet, my friend, because the game has not ended. The fat lady or the fat lark in our animal's case has not sung yet, because there's still almost 3 minutes left. Plenty of time for Ollie to score a kickoff goal to tie it right back up. Scientific method still an option, still viable, still very much a Game 7 potential if this Griffins team could pull out the rest of this almost 3 minutes that we have had only 30 seconds passed by, and since the last time we have mentioned that clock.
Mark Rober is going to be so pleased with us. We're going to have to report our findings. As Zuggs looks for this one. Great redirect. Ollie's going to try and be there, but Exy gets there first. Zuggs looking for the cut. Gets demoed. Exy is finally going to score off the back of one. It looks a little bit touch and go. It looked like it might have hit the post, but no. Exy confidence sends that one into the sidewall, and this is what I was wanting. I saw so many demos which were irrelevant to the game. Not important. Getting someone demoed when they're in the offensive half and there's a defender waiting. No. Demo the final defender. Get the better of your man, and that's exactly what they've been able to do there. Owls take the lead, and once again, the scientific method may be under scrutiny for a moment, as there might be another opportunity here. Ollie sending this one into the corner. Will try and get around Exy and does a good job to at least win that 50 somewhat.
Indeed, but Zuggs is there to send it out. Not a lot of boosts to AFK, but he was able to utilize that backboard properly to get a good clear. Exy there with the rotations, able to pop it up over Ollie. Just Zuggs back on defense, and Zuggs gets beaten absolutely mercilessly like a lion who got out of his cage. And we do have a 2-goal lead for this Owls team. You've seen this play before, but it has had a remake since the first time watching it with a different ending. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I think the Owls are finally getting comfortable, Rhino, especially with those demos like you're talking about, finally making them absolutely consequential when they happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Exy, we've seen such individual brilliance from Exy so far this series, and there's another example of it. Maybe one more. No, not going to find that one. That's a minor caster curse. You know, it's not been detrimental to his team yet. Yes. Oh! Now it's a proper caster curse. Now it's bad. Now I have to hold my hands up and apologize to all of the Owls fans in chat, because that's on me. I gave Exy credit. I said he was so good individually. And and then that happens. On me. On me, guys.
To save your credit, Rhino boy, we will blame this on the scientific method, because it is still the Owls with the most demos. So it was only a matter of time before the Griffins scored again. So you are still saved. You were trying to capture Blessdom. So the scientific method is the one person in this team. However, we have 2 Owls players trying to set up against this Griffins goal, which was briefly open, but Zuggs now rotating back. Ollie taking this ball away from Exy. Will try to beat AFK here in the corner. Plays it low. Zuggs coming in a little too quickly, unable to react to it how he needs to. Gets a great 50, but Exy is there to collect that ball. And is going to try to get this center for his teammate. That's going to go over over AFK, but Ollie was there. Nice Zuggs going for a beautiful shot. Crossbar down. Cleared out by Exy, but AFK getting bumped might give Ollie the chance to get a great 50. Exy is there, however, to collect it.
Great cut. There's Ollie, able to make that one work. AFK gets the demo immediately back. Ollie did not pick up any boost whatsoever. That's going to cause problems now. Empty tanks in empty cars, and Zuggs gets faked out of his mind. So much so, the fake was so powerful. He has left the game. Exy goes around the side, makes Zuggs miss. And hopefully he will be able to come back in time. I hope that's not a rage quit, but it may well be. Ollie going to have to fight the Owls 2v1 for the moment, and this is not the way that a playoffs game should end. Ooh. But it looks like it will be. Zuggs showing no signs of coming back right now.
Indeed, it is up to Ollie to try to 1v2 with only 20 seconds remaining. He's doing a fantastic job. Even got a great shot off, got a great save.
Go on, Ollie.
He's still
Go on,
a great
Ollie.
chance here. If he can get under him, can't quite beat 2 people in defense. AFK now collecting that ball. Ollie no longer moving. This series is over, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't quite go down into the game 7 I know we were all hoping for, except for maybe Goob, whose heart was crying. But this series did end in the Owls' favor in a game 6 extravaganza, and what a series this has been, Rhino.
Yeah, until the end, until those last few moments, it really felt like this game was in for a grandstand finish. I mean, Ollie and Zuggs, I felt worked so well together. I thought their teamwork was really coming through. I thought they were really taking it to the Owls. In the end, that is not the way you want to see a game of Rocket League end. But Galloway, credit to the Owls. They played incredibly well. They got their win.
Indeed they did, and I'll see if we can't quickly get them in for an interview. I would love to actually be able to talk with two from the Owls, at least for a brief moment, because we do have to soon go into the next match. But it's the quarterfinals. We all want to hear from these lovely gentlemen who played their heart out in a very, very tight series.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, if we do get the chance to bring them in, then fantastic. If not, credit to them either way. They played a fantastic game, and yeah, a little bit of a bitter way to end the season for the Griffins. It was a half decent season for the Griffins. You have to give them credit. 5-5 on the season is not shabby. That's always going to get you into play-ins here in FDL, but it just wasn't enough to see them through in the end against an Owls side who were able to go through with a winning record, 6-4 in their conference, and did very well indeed. So yeah, Owls win 4-2. And what a wonderful, wonderful game to come back to. Thank you so much for having me on, Galloway. It's been a genuine pleasure, sir.
Absolutely.
And hey, here they come. I'm seeing action in the waiting room.
Indeed, and that action is Exy, who created his fair share of action on that field, just absolutely dominating at times, and the only person to break that 1,000-point club. How's it going, brother?
It's going good. How are you guys doing?
You know, we were doing better until you made my throat strain from all the hypium you were feeding us.
Yeah, I was lucky trolling AFK in the first couple games. I just kind of had to get into the groove of it and figure it out. I just started reading their challenges, and it was pretty easy from there.
I love it.
Quarterfinals easy. I wish I could.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Yeah, that's I mean, I don't think I've ever been in a quarterfinal, so I can't even relate. But Exy, I mean, talk to me about this series from your perspective. I mean, the Owls, a winning record, 6-4, very close to that 7-3 from the Huskies. It feels like Elite has been a very close kind of league this season. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that, but I will say I've only ever lost one series this season. It was to that team that we just beat. So
Okay.
I'm pretty confident going into the rest of these matches.
Why wouldn't you be? 5-1, average of 700 score. It's a very, very impressive series for you. I'm going to ask one more question, then I'm going to pass back to Galloway just to close us out. I mean, if there were to be a team that you were particularly afraid of in this elite league this season, who do you think it would be?
Definitely the Huskies. I know that we're 2-0 against them, but we've always gone to the last straw against them, and I feel like we just barely pull games out against them. They're just really good. Like Poofy's super good.
Indeed, there's been plenty of times I've watched them throughout the season. Absolutely. Rhino boy, I'll let you have the final word with our friend here before you go on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, if you got anything to plug, Exy, if you got anything to plug, anything you want to shout out, and of course within reason, go. The floor is yours, my friend.
I guess I just want to shout out Goob for being so cool, and then my teammates for being so sexy. So that's what I'm shouting out.
You could say so Exy, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna go with Exy's sexy teammates, but at the same time, yeah, that's. Yeah, they were very Exy. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Exy. All the best of luck in the semifinals, and of course for the rest of the playoffs if you are to make it further. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night.
You as well, brother. And with that,
Thanks so much.
We've had the return of RhinoCast 11. Oh, what a return that was, ladies and gentlemen. He would not be here for the rest of them, because this man's got to sleep. Everybody give this man some love in the chat for joining us. We hope to maybe, just maybe, get some more of them later on in the playoffs if there's somebody who's willing to play early enough. But we do have 2 more games happening tonight. Here very shortly, we will have the Adept League, Vipers versus Owls. You do not want to miss that, because I can confirm have some pretty cool people coming back for that one as well. So come on back in about 5 minutes, we say, around boy.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes is a good.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Sounds good to me. Well, my friend, that's been a pleasure. We'll see y'all here shortly. to the quote unquote 8:15 hour. We will blame Costin, as Griffin says in the chat. If you're listening to our voices and not watching, that's a shame, but at the same time, we appreciate it. We just got done casting an amazing series between Elite League, Owls, and Griffins, but now we are in Adept, with Vipers versus Owls. And I am looking forward to this. And I also have a new co-caster who I'm also looking forward to casting with. What's going on, Professor Freak?
Hello, sir. An honor to be honking with you in the casting booth again.
Indeed. So we got Adept League. We got Vipers and Owls. How much of Adept have you paid attention to this season?
You know, I haven't paid as close attention. Unfortunately, our Penguins Adept team didn't fare as well, so we haven't been playing as close. But I did, looking at both of these teams. I mean, this is a very tough matchup. Both of these teams had very good seasons, coming in at 7-3, and this is the hard part about not getting that number 1 seed. Is like there are no games that are a shoo-in in this.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. This makes things a lot more interesting when you're not seeing the one. It's always fun to watch the 1 seed play because you never know how it's going to work. The 1 seed because they're expected to win, but not because they're going to win. And with FDL, there's no way of knowing. But it's always fun to not watch number 1 seed as well because it's that mid-ground action that you expect to be very tight. You're expecting it to go either way. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how this one goes. How about you?
I am. What do you say we get these guys started?
I say we start waving that green flag, my friend.
All right, let's do it.
All right, and we will be having Viper and Levi Bull Rush coming in for the Vipers, and we will be having Original Thor and Coach Jimmy for the Owls.
And I think a little bit surprising, though, maybe related to some internet issues. This is technically, I think, the B lineup for the Owls. When we know that Squirrel can have some internet issues, unfortunately. Jimmy going off for this does get the B. Let's see if he's able to put this back to center. Going to go for the pop, doesn't miss it, but Thor is right there, and there's going to be goal number 1. So only 20 seconds in, and if you can believe it or not, Galloway, I didn't actually cap the first, so this could go very well tonight.
And we always love, especially when Thor's on the field, we get to watch him play because he's a big time streamer man with myself. So it's always fun to get to watch him play. Fun to make jokes here and there every now and then, but he's done a fantastic job getting a good first goal. Fantastic job getting that first save there. Thor right now is just absolutely on fire. And as I tried to talk him up, he says, I don't need your honking up. I have my own car to do that with, Galloway. That throw in the second goal of the game.
He's like bar down skis. And yeah, the Owls making a statement thus far. It's very early, and that kickoff could be a little bit dangerous. Is that going straight in? It is going straight in. And there is the caster cursing back Galloway.
Is it caster curse for goal store for kickoff and the 50 into it? You know what? I'll blame himself for that. I mean, come on, Thor. You're a streamer. You know how casting cursing works. You should be immune to it by now.
That is true. Do we have an issue from the Vipers? Do we have an issue? I don't see anything in chat.
I cannot check because I'm currently streaming, so I can't look at the pings. You'll have to tell me how his pings look. The official ruling on that, if he is having ping issues, is that we cannot restart because
he said he is getting constant DCs, so that is unfortunate. But yes, to your point, cannot restart at this point.
We can,
however,
restart after this, or do a server restart after this match.
Yes, we can do a server reset. This might be one of those things where you're like, little brother, sister, mom, dad, whoever else is using the internet in the house. I've got much more important things to do. So please get off. A nice save there coming in from Viper. Levi going to challenge up, but Thor does beat him in the ball. That could be an open net. Viper is there, able to clear it out. Jimmy is just going to put that high. Levi should be able to make a save, but Thor is up fast. It does get it high, but a good 50. Levi should be able to do something with this ball, but it immediately gets challenged by Coach Jimmy. And, Galloway, sometimes even just mental issues associated with thinking your internet is off can be a huge factor. So this could really be rough for the Vipers if they're feeling like they have internet problems.
Oh, absolutely. However, this would be a good setup if Levi can throw that low enough, which he does. It's a little bit of an Eagles moment because I think it might have just been crossbar down ski doodles and not in. Not quite sure, but this replay will tell us a little bit better if the angle is good. I can't tell.
I don't think that was going in.
I don't think so either.
But that's a tough, awkward ball and a good shot by Viper.
Oh, absolutely.
Kickoff going to go to Levi. Going to hit that. Look for the 50, but Jimmy deflects that well. Viper taking it back, but Jimmy is right on that ball. Thor there, good positioning, able to immediately follow that up. But Levi has an opportunity. Not able to get that ball on target. And again, you don't know what is or what isn't internet issues. It's a convenient thing if you're like me and you play poorly.
Hey, for me, it's always an internet issue. Even if it goes in, it's an internet issue. I miss something. That's what you're talking about. But
Yeah.
But the 2.5 minutes almost elapsed. It is a 5-goal game right now. Both teams are only apart by 1 goal. The Vipers are trying to stave off being down by 2, but do so successfully, especially with Viper challenging Thor, stealing away from him, playing it in the corner, trying to get that mid pass, but Thor went for the demo. I like the awareness on that guy. Going out there and securing it, making sure that even if it gets past the defense, it can't go in, and it will result in a counterattack. Jimmy scoring a goal to give him a 2-goal lead.
And great play here by Jimmy. And instead of going for the hard shot that Levi was expecting, you just do the light pop, so he goes sailing past. And then again, that leaves your options open the next time too. It's going to leave your opponent guessing as to what exactly you're going to do. Viper hits that ball dangerously, does get another touch. Not able to get that on target, and Jimmy is able to clear that. Thus far, I would say not one team looking well in front. We definitely have the Owls in front from a score perspective, but I definitely don't feel like they're in a position to run away with this series, Galloway.
You're right. Series can really go either way. I mean, other than the game yet. Already, I've seen a lot of things I like from both teams. It's a matter of which team can really capture that momentum first, really get carried away and just run with it. Kind of like how we saw the Owls did in the last series, where like Game 4, they're finally able to get the momentum going to or Game 5 rather. But with Viper throwing that away from the goal, it only delays the inevitable, as Coach Jimmy is able to throw that in there. We do have a 3-goal differential. Jimmy and Thor doing some amazing work, and you can just tell the amount of effort they put in together with each other, the amount of just absolute GOAT activity between these two people.
Yeah, great shot there from Jimmy at a tough angle, but also, really making the Vipers be careful when they go for those clear balls. A clear to the corner is not safe when the Owls team is shooting this well. Levi going to send that down. Viper does have a chance for a shot. Good save by Jimmy, but Levi is lurking. Goes a little late on that, but is able to get a pretty favorable 50, but Jimmy's there. That ball is on target. Viper saves it, but not the best save right in front of their net. Immediately jumped on by Levi. Levi is following that ball. Does get it bounce center. Viper not able to put that on target, but this ball is still very awkward. Levi low on boost, unable to follow that up. But the Vipers are still sustaining pretty solid pressure. It looks like Thor might have gotten them a bit of a breath now. Even with no boost, he's still going. Almost an Eagles moment. What's the equivalent franchise when you pass to your opponent?
The equivalent franchise that will do what now?
So which franchise is associated with passing to your opponents? Because unfortunately, that was a bit of a pass to the Owls right there.
I think that's just called typical FDL action. I'm not quite sure. I think passing to the other team is just as iconic as, as a Rhino Boy cast. I'm not quite sure.
That's true. I just call it common courtesy where I come from. So
you know what? I like it. That's an amazing play. But Thor able to slide in there, getting the big time save, and no boost to his name, just about. But he was able to get a favorable 50. That ball will bounce high. It will bounce favorable, but it is saved by Thor once more. We got Will and that shot can come off of this play if it can, but it is turned aside. Owls winning game 1, 6-2 in a pretty. I feel like dominating is a little bit unjust, Professor, but it's pretty convincing.
I think they were in control most of it. I mean, they took the lead very early. The Vipers were able to come back, but by and large, the Owls were in control the entire time, and they seemed to be more on point, both defensively but also offensively. And the Vipers really got to clean up mistakes. And in playoff Rocket League, you've got to play so clean. Any mistakes can cost you the series. Now, granted, like this is a 7-game series, so this is, or excuse me, a best of 7 series. So this is much longer than you're used to during league play. So I think like momentum can play a much bigger role. The Vipers have a lot of opportunity to bring this back just by losing, one game. They could still easily be in the series. So I'm excited to see how they respond with this. We haven't had any requests by the Vipers to maybe get a server reset, so I'm gonna assume they're okay. Maybe whoever was eating up Levi's internet is no longer doing that.
Indeed, he did have horrible internet. So I don't know how long it persisted throughout the series or throughout the game, because of course I can't check on stream. But after this, just check in with him at some point just to make sure if he's still having the issue or not, because he does have a server reset if he does not remember. This is why at the beginning we do tell the players are their rights on stream, but not everybody knows how to read. I mean, it's FTL, man. We play carball, we don't read.
That's true. And we do see a car change coming out of Levi, changing to the Fennec, maybe feeling like 50s weren't going in his favor. That's a good pass down to Viper. Unfortunately, not able to get it, and Jimmy's going to bump him out of the way. In a good position to clear that ball out. Levi is going to bump that and then also get boost. Going to try and go off the ceiling, but I think, it gets a very good 50. Jimmy should be able to get back to that. Does hit that into a relatively safe position. Thor, that's kind of a dangerous spot to pop the ball, and he gets beat by Levi. And the Vipers open up the scoring in game 2, Galloway.
Indeed, and they really did need to start the momentum off early here. Maybe it's because that ping worked out in his favor. Maybe it's just he just didn't like taking a 6-2 on the shin. Who knows? But Vipers do start this off early with a great touch. Levi trying to get it over Thor, but Thor able to reach up into the heavens, get a touch on to that ball, doing a fantastic job to stop the momentum. However, Vipers are still trying to push this ball down the field and will do so successfully. Getting it into the Owls' half. Jimmy not quite reading that as he wants, but nobody's pressuring him. He got all the time in the world, but he will get 50. Thor clearing that out. Levi backwards on defense, misses the ball, but has a favorable setup to at least get a 50 against Thor. Viper now going into the air missing as well. Right now, it seems like the best way to beat the Vipers, best way to beat any snake is to go into the air.
They're well known. I think there is technically a flying snake, but it's more gliding. But snakes are typically not known for their ability to fly, and a good opportunity coming here.
Ooh!
And Jimmy is just with 0 boost going to say, "I don't care. I am 15 this ball in," and the Owls are right back tied.
Indeed, and Coach Jimmy, this is why he is the coach, ladies and gentlemen, because he is the cream of la crop. He is just there at the top. He is there to show you how it's done, so that way he can lead you to treasures that he cannot take. Although he is here to take all the treasures for himself. But right now, it's going to be up to Viper to do some defense. However, Levi was able to help out, getting a good demo there to kind of slow down this offense and kind of stall it out. Viper now trying to take it and put it mid. It's going to be a nice pop up high, but I think Thor is ready for it more than Levi was, which is good for the Owls, who can now go on a counter as soon as they get control of that ball freak.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big miss there by Viper. Fortunately, Levi is able to bail him out. Levi's going to immediately try and start the counterattack, but Thor is back. Yeah, solid defense coming in from both teams. Much less scoring than we saw in the first games. Haven't seen a ton of physical play yet. I'm curious if that will come out. Levi getting a favorite little 50 there, but Thor able to get back. And yeah, I feel like, I don't know if this is an adaptation or maybe if teams are playing a little bit more cautious, but a lot less scoring in this one, Galloway.
Absolutely. It's been a lot tighter, and I do think it has been the result of the internet coming in, working fine for Levi, especially as he's able to get a nice double touch here, or not really a double touch, but Thor did get a touch, but it's an unfortunate touch because it did not clear to the corner. Instead, popped back mid for a nice easy pass to Levi, who was able to throw that in there. And we do have a 2-1 lead for this Vipers team. And I'm not convinced that it won't be a 2-2 here shortly.
Yeah, I mean, it easily could. That was just one unfortunate save, but it could be 3-1. Nice shot by Viper coming in off of a 50. Actually, just a nice pass by Levi. Instead of going for the direct goal, just doing the backwards flick to pop that ball into the air. And, the Vipers are turning it around, shifting the momentum in their favor. How will this Owls team adapt? Thor does get the 50, but that's going to go straight to Viper. Not the best clear. Jimmy is there, but Levi is going to say, you are not picking up this ball. Even Jimmy giving him some compliments for the demo. Going for a reset, but not able to get it because he's out of boost. Thor trying to pass that to Jimmy, but unfortunately ends up kind of giving possession away. Thor is there in defense. I'm seeing, I feel, Galloway, the Owls are without boost quite a bit. They seem pretty comfortable, but they do seem to be without boost more often than the Vipers are in this game.
Indeed, and that has been a huge factor as well, because teams are trying to work hard, and it's hard to work hard when you have not a lot of fun juice to make it happen. But Jimmy out that respawn, we look at a good 50. Levi is now rushing up to the ball. Trying to get control here, throwing that off the backboard. It's going to be cleared out by Thor. No easy shot for Viper. Levi trying to get a demo, couldn't do so. Thor trying to throw it to the net, couldn't do so. Jimmy trying to get a 50, couldn't do so. But Thor was able to pop it mid and allow his teammate to get a touch on that for a 50. Now struggling hard to get that offense going here, but Vipers doing just as hard of a work to try to push it down to the other side of the field and into the open net. Levi will do so.
And again, I see a situation there where both of the Owls players had no boost. You get that bump on Jimmy, the pop towards the Owls end of the field, and that's an easy open net. So I think the Owls are going to have to look at their boost management and maybe be a little bit more cautious. I always appreciate focusing on pressure on the ball, but they're just getting caught in tough positions. Nice save coming in from Levi, able to put that and clear into the corner. Viper staying on it, but Jimmy is going to challenge that immediately. Does steal the boost, going to go for a bump, but really not able to get much of a bump on Levi. Viper is there, and that is 5-1. So we are very close to seeing the score in the opposite direction that we saw last game, Galloway.
Indeed, this Viper team coming alive. I do think the ping was a big factor. I do think it's fixed now, but I still do want to check in just to make sure that it's actually good and working right. Maybe it's just a glitch in the matrix. Maybe the girl in the red dress was there. Who knows? But Thor's now trying to get a shot off. Gets a bump, but can't follow it up. Viper will clear this out. This game will be ending in the Viper's favor. It's just a matter if the score will remain the same, but I do think this will be our final score, especially as the clock does elapse. 5-1, not quite at 6-2, but it is still a good pendulum swing for this Vipers team. It's what they needed. They were able to really eliminate what the Owls could get away with. That was a huge factor for them.
Yes, absolutely. And so, at this point, if you're Levi, you might be thinking, you know what, even my internet's questionable. I played really well that game, so maybe I'll just deal with it. And maybe it's even the 300 IQ play to be like, oh, my internet's acting up. And then you lull the Owls into a false sense of security. But this was a very one-sided game two, much more so than game one was in the Owls' favor. Not a ton of offense, but nowhere near the defense that we saw from the Owls in game one either. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious how they're going to adapt to this, Galloway. What do you think they should be focusing on?
They need to focus on not taking advantage. They need to focus on shutting down what the Vipers can do, whether that's getting a car on them quicker, whether that's getting a car and just trying to control the ball more. We know that they want to now start going to air. The Vipers are now trying to be more aggressive. You can swing it out of their favor. Just get on them, make them lose the ball more, be a little bit more looser with the ball. That would be huge.
And that's a great start if you're the Vipers. You have a kickoff that goes almost directly into their net that you're able to follow up on. So Thor getting that boost, but not able to defend that ball that comes rocketing back at his half. And yeah, if you are Vipers right now, you feel pretty good with how this game has started, but there's a lot of time left. That one goes in the Owls' favor, but Viper does have plenty of boost. Going to look to air dribble this one back. Does not really get a second touch, but Levi is there to help him out. Thor is going to end up clearing that ball up, but Levi is lurking, going to bounce that ball in a bit of an awkward position, and he's going to shoot directly, but good save by Jimmy. He also had the pass open there, so a lot of options open. That's not a great touch from Viper, but Jimmy should be back in time. Maybe a little bit of an unfriendly bounce, but everything seems to be working okay. Nice bounce on it, and then Viper with a good clean beat there. Can the Vipers do anything here? You know, thus far, it still seems to be more in the Vipers' control, Galloway. I feel like they're just controlling the possession, controlling the ball overall better than the Owls are.
I agree, and not only that, but the Owls are also occupying the same spot in the field more times than not, especially in that last 30 seconds. They were almost synonymous with each other as far as placement on that pitch. But Jimmy going for it, Thor trying to go for Doomsday, neither one of them really having the boost to really make it happen. Especially with the, what a shot attempt that was. The Thor getting back to put the pressure on it. If I'm not mistaken, it was Thor. Jimmy will try to control the ball. Gets flicked over here on Thor. Able to get up and pop it, but Jimmy gets bumped. Levi trying to up and carry it, but the ball got away from him a little too far there. But that will be a demo. However, I like the demo. However, I didn't like that demo. This is because you gave him positioning and boost that he may have not necessarily had. It was as we said in the first game with me and Rhino, it was a demo that doesn't really accomplish anything.
Yeah, sometimes a demo can actually be worse than a bump. A bump can be more damaging when somebody has zero boost and it puts them in a position that's hard to recover from without boost. But a lot of sustained pressure from the Vipers here over, I'd say, the last like 30 seconds. But fortunately, the Owls coming through unscathed. Only that initial kickoff goal. I'm a little bit surprised nothing has trickled in. But here comes Levi looking for a reset. Gets the reset, but well defended by Thor. But Viper's going to keep this in the Owls' half. Again, going for a ton of boost stills. I like what I'm seeing from the Vipers, Galloway, in that like when the ball doesn't go in, they're just immediately stealing boost and rotating around to keep the pressure up.
Indeed, I like that as well. I like what I see there, but what I don't like to see is a shot that's gone missed and given freely to the Owls, who were a little bit slow getting to it, but it did turn out to be a great save and a great counterattack as Viper is able to get that pass from Levi high and flying. This must be one of those gliding snakes from this island of snakes coming in there and able to strike fast to give this a 2-goal lead to the Vipers team, who are tied in this series, Owls team. But you have to wonder now, Professor, with how this game is going, it's tight. It's much tighter than last game. But I would say the momentum's been pretty solidly in the favor of the Vipers. Of the Vipers. The Owls kind of get lucky with game one due to the ping issue, or were they able to just capitalize off of the Vipers not being ready for them?
You know, I think there were a lot of mistakes by the Vipers in game one. I think the biggest thing I'm seeing, though, is just the pressure is just all Vipers. And again, you know, the sustained boost steals, I've just put the Owls in an uncomfortable position, and they haven't quite figured out a good way to put the Vipers on their back foot, even though Vipers do not have it. So here we've got Thor going to put that. This could be a position, but it looks like Jimmy was rotating out. Viper is going to send that back towards the Owls half. And at this point, if you're the Vipers, you're really just trying to waste time. Almost a dangerous ball. Levi is going to pop that. It's in an awkward position. Both Owls commit, but fortunately, Jimmy gets the hit. Jimmy does get a demo on Viper. Going to look over and steal that boost. Unfortunately, Thor, again, we talk about low boost coming in from the Owl. And there we have Thor, no boost to make a play. And Galloway. So close.
Double commit that almost cost them. As well, like you said, the no boost is really hurting them. I don't know if it's just poor management or a great boost stealing, but it is the Vipers doing a lot of great things here to be the architects of their destiny in this series right now. But that's going to be a great 50 by Jimmy. Thor will be able to get there. I would like to have seen him. It's one of those situational moments, because I would like to have seen him take control of it in that corner, but that's only if you know that he's going to wait back and go, which you don't know that he's going to do or not, which he did eventually do. And it feels like right now it's just the Vipers who are living in the moment, living in control, like I said, being the architects of their destiny. And speaking of which, that will be another goal for the Vipers, 3-0. I'm feeling very confident saying this game 3 is going to go to them.
Yeah, I agree. Not much that the Owls can do in the last 10 seconds. And I think that's a good example of where Viper had saved up enough boost in defense. And when he gets that counterattack opportunity, he's able to take full advantage of it, set it up for Levi to be able to get the final nail in the coffin. And I think boost management, among other things, is a piece of this. So to your point, the Vipers have been stealing boost a lot. That is definitely starving the Owls. But definitely the Owls may be looking a little bit at their pathing. How can they go over those small boost pads and make sure they have enough saved? Because a lot of times, just enough to surprise your opponent. But they've really got to be looking at how they adjust. I think it's going to have to come from pressure, aggression. You got to get this Viper team out of their comfort zone.
Absolutely. And right now, the onus is on the Owls to adapt to this Vipers. We've seen the Vipers go high. We've seen the Vipers get aggressive and just play fast. You can beat that kind of gameplay. If it's a team that's playing fast, all you have to do is win the 50 against them. Play it for control. They're playing fast. Their control will suffer, at least to some degree. And at this level, you can expect it maybe to even more of a degree. But play for that control. If they're going to play fast and challenge you instantly, have that communication. Your teammate saying, hey, look, he's about to turn on you. Get ready for the 50, or just win those 50s. Turn it into a 2v1 because of that. This team can do it. I believe
absolutely.
in Jimmy and Thor.
Absolutely. They're smart players, and I'm sure they've talked about adaptations. Surprisingly, no timeouts coming in. We've got Jimmy and Viper going in, and already the kickoff is starting off better. Thor has a lot of boost save up, gets a very favorable 50, puts that on net, but Viper is able to clear that. Jimmy now used all his boost to get into an awkward spot and not able to defend that. That is unfortunately mispositioning. I'm not sure. He's trying to pick up pads, boosts, without realizing that maybe Thor got the mid boost or someone else did. So that's unfortunate. If you're the Owls, you work to not let in the kickoff goal only to get counterattack after you have your shot after the kickoff.
Yeah, but Vipers will be taking this game 4 lead with that kickoff. That's going to be a misplay that could cost them, but Jimmy able to swap in there, get that, or swoop in there, was able to get that touch. Then it turns off the ball, but I'd love to see him try and challenge it. It's been awkward, for sure, especially against this Viper team that's playing aggressive. So that's definitely been an awkward challenge indeed. But I would love to see the challenger just get on them, get disruptive, get unpredictable. Because right now, the Vipers are just picking and choosing when to attack, and they're doing a good job of it. But Jimmy beating out the defense. Thor getting a great demo, but Jimmy unable to get control in the nick of time. Will cost an open net because of the fantastic defense rotation for the Vipers. And now, my friend, we're seeing it. It's still tight. I do like how they're playing right now. It's still not quite up to where I think we want to see it at, but they're playing it very good. It's a great demo, but a great save.
Yeah, and another situation where if Jimmy had a whiff of boost, he would have been able to put that ball on net, but unfortunately caught with low boost. And so, whether it's through comms or maybe a little bit different pathing, they've got to make sure they have enough boost to punish when they get these opportunities from the Vipers. We're not giving them a lot. Oh, that's a dangerous, attempted pinch, but it goes very favorably off the save from Jimmy. I think Levi has this. He is able to save that, but that was a great opportunity for the Owls. Unfortunately, that 50 does not go in their favor. Jimmy is there to clear it back. And Thor coming in immediately to make sure Levi does not have a clear shot on that ball. Good 50 again from Jimmy. I definitely like what I see Galloway. I feel like the 50s are coming much faster in the midfield. Oh, but that's an unfortunate miss.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing as well. And the fact that it's only 1-0 right now is a good sign. However, it's going to be a fantastic flip reset. But it is crossbar down, Ski Doodles. But the follow-up will send that one in. Viper getting goal number 2 for this Vipers team. Thor just barely missing it. Coach Jimmy getting lost in the sauce, got underneath the ball. Instead of rotating into net, he would have been an awkward save at the speed and the timing of him getting there regardless. But did get lost in that marinara sauce. Vipers with a 2-goal lead right after this, other than saying the fact that Owls being only down by 1's good. That's a great demo. I mean, no boost, however, will get beat. Goes for the ball a little slow, and Viper, they'll get free and easy mid-court shot, midfield shot. Not quite midfield shot, but they'll get the free and easy shot. Put them back up.
Yeah, Jimmy unfortunately caught in an awkward spot there. You're near midfield. You either need to turn and challenge that ball as soon as possible or start going back to your net. It looks like just enough hesitation that it leads to a counterattack goal. Oh no, and another one coming in from Viper. I don't know if this is a deliberate fake, but it worked. And again, game 4 is this? Yeah, looking like all Vipers right now, Galloway.
Indeed, and excuse me. With that right there, this game's quickly getting away from the Owls. They do need to, I would say, call a timeout. Just try to give themselves a chance after this game to say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. I'm sure they're already talking to this and saying this anyways, but it would be nice to be able to catch your breath, get a nice little easy breather, and just really communicate with each other without having to worry about readying up in a minute. Give yourself 2 whole minutes, and that right there was a good chance, but Thor, I don't think was expecting a complete whiff. Was going for the block, if not the shot, but that bumping play after my struggling of the English language will result in a goal. Thor doing a fantastic job to get that mid, doing a fantastic job of taking Viper out of the play. Jimmy following that up to throw that first goal in, and this is what we wanted to see more of, Freak.
Yeah, great way to finally get a goal in. And, you know, just sometimes some little bump plays like that are just enough to get the defenders uncomfortable. The next time they're in net is they're going to be thinking like, oh, if he misses, he's just going to immediately try and bump or demo me. So great goal from the Owls. That is not the miss you need, though. Fortunately, Jimmy is able to come in and save Thor from that miss. Still a very dangerous spot. Levi puts that, and it's in. And this Viper team is quick to strike back. Another passage of play, Galloway, which is a lot of sustained pressure. Boost starved and out of position Owls, and they are food for the Vipers.
Indeed they are, but this game is not over, nor is the series. We're still going to be only at match point if the Vipers do win, which means the Owls will have to do a tall order of winning multiple games in a row. 3 games, in fact, but it is possible. However, there's a minute left. 4 goals will be difficult against this Vipers team, which is really feeling it, but still doable. That's going to be a great dribble by Jimmy, who had no boost, but it will be taken away by the remaining Owls player. That ball will get played to the midfield. Rushing back, very little boost. Does get the save. And his door trying to shoot it, but can't quite get control.
Yeah, and looks like sometimes like the Owls are pushing a little too hard to get touches. They're maybe not consistent enough at. And I get they're trying to play faster. They're trying to meet the aggression of these Vipers, but you know, it feels like they're trying to win at the Vipers game, but that's a great passage of play right there. Again, the sustained pressure. Thor hits that ball in the corner, does not leave it, does get a nice pass out, and Jimmy is there to put it in, just sliding into the bottom corner. And some signs of life coming in from this Owls team. There is not a lot of time left and a lot of work to be done, but could this be the start of the momentum swing that they need?
Hopefully so. Them scoring 2 goals is huge. I would like to see them get at least one more if possible, but it is only 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be very difficult to score in this short amount of time. If they can just not let another goal in, that'd be just as huge if you ask me. But this game 4 will be going to the Vipers, who are now at match point. And this is not where you want to be if you're the Owls, especially.
We do have a timeout taken by the Owls.
All right, cool. That's what we wanted to see.
So I think that's a wise timeout. I think at this point, right, they've probably started to maybe figure out a working strategy. Definitely, aside from some of the misplays, some of the open counterattacks due to low boost, they were formulating a working offense against this Vipers team, which they had struggled the past 2 games. So I think if this were sustained, still, I mean, when you look at the point totals, you still see the offense and the pressure in general. Galloway is just heavily weighted in the Vipers' favor, and it's so hard to win when you're at that sort of a shot deficit.
Indeed, but this timeout could be all the time they need to really get them reset and restarted. Whenever I will have the timer going, so whenever I tell you to let them know that's over, please, sir. But
Okay.
the Owls did some things right there. Sure, the Vipers scored 5 goals. That's still not good, but they were able to get 2 goals themselves. Were able to kind of stop them from exploding on offense more. Vipers or Owls had a couple of good looks themselves with some bump plays. I think they should more of, but I do want to see it used tactful, which I think we talked about in game 1 of this series about being inconsequential, not being relevant. Just love to see them get equally as aggressive if they can.
And I think there is an opportunity certainly for them to catch the Vipers off guard, because sometimes think we've all been in series where you're dominating and you kind of relax. You don't stay as dialed in because you're thinking like, oh gosh, I'm up 3-1, like, or 3-0, or whatever the score is. Like, I'm not going to lose this. Even if they take one game, I'm not going to lose it. So now is absolutely the time for the Owls, not just do or die, but also an opportunity for them to really come back and maybe take advantage of Vipers that have gotten fat and happy from their latest kill.
Indeed, and that is timeout, sir. Let them know to jump in real quick. Fantastic. But you're absolutely right, and I do want to see this Owls team do what Owls do and prey on the snake. But snakes are still just, go out of the way, especially in this game here. But with Owls starting off on the kickoff, Viper getting controlled, throwing it away. Gets past Jimmy. Thor having to rush back forward in the demo. In the touch. Jimmy not going to get back and get a touch. Gets around him. But Levi is not there for it, so that will work out in the favor for this Owls team. However, they're going to have to get a nice clear here. It will be clear out mid, but nobody's able to challenge it. Both of them went for it. Now both are low boost. It will be another boost steal. And that's a big 50 needed. Jimmy, I like the fact that you went all the way up the field there, but with 0 boost. You have to commit. Maybe you get the ball, maybe you get the car. But at that point, if you're going to challenge up, you have to commit to maybe bumping a player. If he had commit, he could have bumped Levi off this ball. But instead, Levi will get the first goal in this game, 35 seconds in, off of a fantastic 50 play.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, surprisingly, Levi's sitting very far back, but definitely reads that very well and seeing by assuming how boost starved both the Owls are. And again, yeah, that does keep sneaking in. The Owls being boost starved and not being in quite the best position to challenge and unsure. A lot of times, if you know your teammate is at all back, you just have to rush challenge in any hopes you can disrupt that because your teammate is not in a good position to make realistically any sort of save. A good opportunity here from Levi, and that goal is in. And Galloway, I'm a little bit anxious to say it because who knows how I'm going to cast a curse, but this is still looking like all Vipers at this point.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you should feel no nervousness about caster cursing anybody right now because it is on the Owls to prove that they can get it, that game 1 was not a fluke. But with that touch there, if Jimmy can throw this in, which he could do so successfully, that will be massive for this Owls team to cut that lead down in half and to, in under 2 minutes this time, get their first goal, which is going to be massive as well. They can get the scoring off early. Sometimes the first goal is the gateway of entry, getting more. Well, I mean, obviously you can get more without getting one, but that kickoff right there will just barely go wide, and thank goodness for the Owls.
Big sigh of relief from the Owls right there. But yeah, a good opportunity there. A great shot by Jimmy. And so the Owls have got to find a way to sustain this. But here we've got a lot of pressure coming in. I'd like to see them play a little bit more cautiously. And, something else I noticed the Vipers do a lot, Galloway, is they don't always go for the shot. A lot of times if they feel like the shot's defended, they just go to hit the ball past their opponent and go for the boost steal. And I'd like to see some more of that from the Owls, where they're playing more for possession and control versus trying to get a goal anytime. You have a double commit coming in right there for the Owls, but it does work out pretty well. But Levi is able to get full boost. Going to go off the ceiling, can get back to this ball, gets challenged, but that goes in his favor. Viper is there, but he's not able to challenge. Jimmy is able to defend. Thor is going to put that back, but likely not going to be able to recover in time. And Levi has a lot of space to play with, and he's very dangerous in these situations. Does steal the boost, again, keeping them in an awkward spot, but Thor this time does have a lot of boost to play with. So almost halfway, and you're at a 1-goal game. This is still very winnable for the Owls. There it is.
1-goal game, huh?
Galloway. There it is. The curse is I'm talking about it being 1 goal, very winnable, and unfortunate in this play. And I feel like that's what the Vipers have earned with the way they've played, is they are making the Owls so uncomfortable every time they're in offense.
You're absolutely right. And okay, the ball does not quite make it in. Me avoiding getting bumped there. We're now going to try to 50. This guy here gets a great save off of Levi. Was feathering that boost as if he's a goose, picking his plumage, trying to put it back in. But that's going to be a double commit coming for this Owls, which will leave it wide open for Levi to throw that one in. And just like that, when we were hyped about the Owls getting 1, Vipers now got their 4th, and this is slowly starting to get away from the Owls. If they cannot regain this momentum, it will prove to be extremely detrimental later on in this game, as it is very much match point.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm seeing a lot of panic in defense coming in from the Owls. Like, that's not a ball that Thor has to rush for. Nobody's going for that shot, but they are, and I feel like they're off their rhythm. They're trying to go for everything, which I understand. It is do or die, but they're getting themselves in worse positions as a result. Levi does have that double, is going to hit it down to their end. And honestly, if you're the Vipers right now, Galloway, all you have to do is waste time. So if you don't even need to score, if you just put the ball and control it and keep it in positions where the Owls can't score, you're effectively winning the game for yourself.
I mean, very true. However, everybody likes high stats. Everybody likes the stat man to do more work and to make themselves look better at the end, because there are player awards that are handed out at the end of the season, everybody, so do make sure you pay attention to that. That's going to be a wide open net. Try to get a cheeky redirect. Couldn't quite get it. That will cost Viper a goal. All he had to do was just leave it for his teammate, since it was wide open, but he did want that cheeky redirect. He did want that stat we were just talking about, but Levi getting it past 1. Will crossbar. Viper will crossbar. Levi trying to turn the crossbar once more, but Jimmy will be successful sending it out, and now Viper turning back in. We'll get a follow-up shot. Uncontested, just throwing it into the wide open net with just under a minute remaining. And this season will be over for the Owls unless they can really turn it around in this 56 seconds.
Yeah, I think the venom is taking full effect at this point. These Vipers have bitten the Owls, and they are breathing their last breath, unfortunately. And not that they didn't put up a good fight, but this Vipers team is just very potent on offense. And again, Levi playing a very smart, controlled game. And I think that's the impressive thing. You know, if the Vipers are having a bit of a peak moment right now, this is absolutely when you want to peak. So more props to them. A smart bump play coming in. Levi is able to get that around, almost get the double on. That ball is going to be pushed back to center. Thor, unfortunately, missing that. We do have a little bit of a team bump coming in from the Vipers, but it should be nothing they can't handle. Viper is back, but actually that ball does get hit center, and Thor just misses. And if you're the Owls, that's got to be a dagger, just to even miss that consolation. But Thor does get one to at least make it 2 goals. I think it's pretty over for certain Galloway, but you know, surprising the timeout. There didn't seem to be adjustments that worked, or just the Viper strategy just kept working so well that the Owls couldn't disrupt it.
Indeed, and I do think they made some good adjustments. I mean, they made it tight for a little while. They held them off strong. They got another shot for the road. Thor really stepping up huge now, but unfortunately for him, it is only a consolation goal for the road. Beautiful shot. This is a beautiful shot, but
it's unfortunate they saved those for the end.
Right, I didn't want to say it, but it's unfortunate he couldn't pop off at the beginning, but we're glad nonetheless he was able to take 2 more for the road for the end of this season. Alice, we love you to death. Coach Jimmy, Original Thor, we love you to absolute death. But Levi, Viper, congratulations on this series. Well won. We'll try to get them in for an interview here. But what a good job between these two people on the Vipers team.
Yeah, they're looking very dangerous. I don't know the outcome yet of the Unicorn and Colts match. I'm not sure if that's already happened, but they are looking like a very tough team going into playoffs.
Indeed. Speaking of a very tough team, they're here. Levi and Viper are with us right now. Congratulations, gentlemen. A little bit surprised that you didn't ask for a server reset after that game 1, but it seemed like it didn't really matter.
No, we didn't need a server reset. I was just playing in the Dominus. That was the only problem.
It is well known that the Dominus gets worse ping than the Fennec, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You shut your mouth as I'm a Dominus main.
I
But I'm not playing the Scarab, that is.
mean, the
Yeah,
Scarab
just
is a great
switched.
car.
Honestly,
I feel like as soon as I switched to the Fennec, I just turned on the jets and just started playing faster, and it was over from game 3.
So, like, did you guys actively make any adjustments after game 1, or do you feel like it was more just getting used to them? Because I think from our perspective, yeah, it felt like it was kind of an immediate shift. Game 2 was close at points, but then you guys really started to run away with the series after that.
Yeah, well, after game 1, we just said to each other that we're gonna play faster because I was trying to go in the air with the Dominus and they weren't letting me. So I was guessing someone told them about me going in the air, and then it just turned into ground play after that, and absolutely just dusted them in the field. So that was it. We just had to play faster, and we had it.
Yeah, I definitely think that was noticed by us too. Is just the pace at which it seemed to make them very uncomfortable because we saw more mistakes coming out from them.
Yeah, I just want the real MVP, Viper here. All right, he stepped
Okay.
up. All right, listen. Halfway through the season, we had a little team breakdown, and a guy had to leave because he didn't show up, and Viper
Yeah.
stepped up and be the third man, and now he's the second man, and probably the first. Shit, because he is better than me. He's carried me. So
Look,
real
all I
MVP, real MVP.
all I am is a facilitator. That's all I do. I open up the field so you can do whatever you need to do.
That's true.
When's the movie being made? That's what I want to know.
when is
Uh,
this buddy cop film happening?
Yeah.
I don't know. After Rocky 7.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay.
Or when Half-Life releases another game.
Oh yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
Well, or whenever Bethesda drops another Elder Scrolls.
Ooh.
But
No, but we appreciate you guys having us on the stream, and I think
Yeah.
it's
Thank
our
you.
I know.
first time.
Yeah,
on
I'm
stream.
curious. So, any teams you guys excited to play? So it looks like you play the winner of the Unicorns and the Colts. Either of those teams you excited to match up against?
We've gone against the Colts before, actually.
Yeah, I hope the Colts win, but sadly, I think the Unicorns might be the better team. I want to face them. I don't know why, but they were paired up for the All-Star game, and I just want to say they got whooped when I was on the field. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
Pew pew.
No, I'm just kidding.
Calling them out. Well, I mean, you guys play like that, and I was saying it to Galloway in the last game. You guys, with Viper coming in, could be peaking at the absolute right time of the season.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Indeed. Well, gentlemen, congratulations. Job well done indeed. For y'all at home, we appreciate y'all joining us, but we do have ourselves another match very soon.
Hey.
Do have
Well, I'm gonna have to watch that.
It's another
Yeah.
Adept League, so you just probably should watch that. It will be the
Oh,
Hydras
the-
versus Dragons.
Okay, nice.
So one of these will
Okay.
probably, or maybe likely, be one of your contenders later on. So worth watching. If it is my team that wins, the Dragons, please. This all of the lessons.
I do have a question for the mod, I guess, whoever made the playoff bracket. Why does the 1 and the 2 facing the upper bracket? It's supposed to be the 2 at the bottom bracket.
That'd be a question for, I believe it is Goob.
I think it's It's just the number of the. Are you talking about the numbers next to the matches?
Yeah.
I think that's just the number of the order in which the matches are in this. Is my guess
Ah, okay.
because it
Well,
goes
that's about
up
the seed too. 'Cause I
downwards.
think actually, I think we might have been second seed. Never mind. I lied. All right. Well, retract my statement.
Yeah, quit
So
being
never
a
mind.
quizzical nerd.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, but we appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah, for real. Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure.
GG's.
Thanks for letting us watch.
To be fair, y'all were 7-3. The Unicorns are 9-1. Dragons 8-2. Huskies were 8. Owls were also 7. Y'all were
Gotcha.
a very contested field this season. Probably weren't first seeds. Not big question.
Nice.
But
Well, don't worry. We're gonna set off fireworks no matter what.
Yeah, that's right.
hey, I like fire.
You heard it here.
Y'all did hear it here, but congratulations, fellas. We will be getting set up for our next match. Like I said, Dragons versus Hydras. Still in Adept League. Coming up here probably about 10 to 15 minutes.
Good evening, FDL viewers. Welcome back to our final match of this Saturday night. Another playoff match in Adept. We have the Adept Dragons versus the Adept Hydras. And I am very happy to share that buzzing in the booth with me tonight is Alyssa. Alyssa, how are you?
I'm doing good. Definitely hyped for my first cast.
As we are to have you. So important question: if you could physically be any type of bee, what bee would you pick?
Definitely a bumblebee, duh.
That's the answer. Bumblebees are bros. Like they don't sting. They're kind of scary when you're a kid, but then you get to be an adult and you're like, yeah, they're just chill.
Yeah.
Do you consider hornets bees?
Yeah.
Okay, because hornets are jerks.
Yeah.
They're giant jerks. They can
Oh
all
yeah,
die in the fire.
definitely.
Now that we've gotten that important topic out of the way, how do you feel about this match coming in? On paper, it does seem to be heavily weighted in the Dragons' favor, coming in with a much better record. The Hydras actually squeaked in the playoffs without a winning record.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have the Dragons with an 8-2 record and then the Hydras with a 4-6 record. So definitely going off of that record, I mean, the Dragons would be more favored to win this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go. But you know, we just saw a series that was a 4-1, so I'm curious to see if we can see a longer series tonight. Where we know FDL viewers, we know us casters, maybe not the streamers because there's more work for them, but we always enjoy a long, entertaining series. So I'm ready to get these players started. Are you ready, Alyssa?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's get them in here. We'll see. I believe we haven't exactly checked. We've got Mr. Whiffs for the Hydras and Chrome. So I believe that's their A lineup. We've got Dirty Jose and Daijibu. All right, we've got Daijibu and Mr. Whiffs going for the kickoff. Looks like Mr. Whiffs does get a bit of an awkward touch. Dirty Jose is right on that, but does miss the ball. Chrome is able to pick up the boost. And just with a little bit of a soft touch, able to stay on that. Gets immediately challenged by Daijibu, but gets a very favorable 50. Chrome is bouncing that center. Mr. Whiffs is there. Oh, he lives up to his name, unfortunately. And you know what, Alyssa? This is already looking better than the last series. That we didn't have a goal in the first 20 seconds.
And I see that we have Dirty Jose playing in a Scarab.
Yeah, do we think that's just for meme value? Is it, or is it actually psychological?
Who knows? I mean, there's a time that I actually won a series of the Scarab, so I mean, it is possible.
I think if you win, you look like a genius, and if you lose, it's just a good reason to be like, well, I played in the Scarab, so of course I didn't win. Okay, so some interesting intel coming in that I did not realize. Dirty Jose is actually a Scarab main, but we do have our first goal coming in with Chrome. So a nice passage of play here. Mr. Whiff's able to get that ball center. Daijibu unfortunately missed the clear. Gets a clean half flip, but Chrome is right there to capitalize on it. And the Hydras strike first. But again, when we think about the last Adept watch or Adept series we just watched, the team that won game 1 lost the next 4 straight. So will this be a series where the Dragons get warmed up, or will the Hydras maintain their momentum?
Okay, Jose takes a touch on it and the wall. Whiffs with the demo.
Dirty Jose hitting that ball back towards the Hydras half. Gonna look to hit that ball center. Does hit it center. Chromace is there, fortunate to get enough of a 50 and able to keep possession, but actually maybe a bit of a miscommunication because Mr. Whisk was there also ready to take possession. A favorable 50 coming in. And that ball is dangerous because you have good save. Oh!
Chromace with the goal!
You know, Alyssa, I thought he had enough to save that. I thought it was going to hit the crossbar.
I know,
but a great shot.
What is your thoughts on the new crossbar sound?
I hate it, personally. I hit the crossbar a lot, so it just makes me sad. Yours?
I like it, honestly.
Oh, you must be one of those accurate shooters I've heard of.
No, I'm not. Definitely not. Okay, Dirty Jose is going up for it.
Daichibu hitting that off the back wall.
Daichibu's on the
Decides
wall.
not to go off the ceiling. Going to collect that ball. But Mr. Whist, the Hydras are very quick to challenge,
bit
it
of a
seems
trigger.
like.
And Jose is dead.
Good
Oh,
demo
a double
coming in.
demo. Team up there. Dajabu tries to get it in. Unfortunately, misses.
Just off. Had a good idea there, and that's going to be another goal
And Mr.
by
Whist gets
Mr.
another
Whist.
goal. I believe that is, yeah, that's his first goal for the game, and Chromos has had 2.
That's a nice, the pre-flip there, able to get under and just hit that ball in kind of an awkward enough spot where it's hard for the defender to read exactly where it's going. So these Hydras have come to play. They're saying, we may not have the record, but we deserve to be here.
What a shot off the wall from Chromace.
Beautiful double. So, yeah, I mean, Alyssa, I'm liking what I see from the Hydras right now. They've come here to win.
Based on even the predictions, I mean, the Hydras are underestimated.
Is it too late for me to change my prediction?
And another shot from Chromace. That's 4 goals now.
And this might have been one of maybe a tactical fake. Dirty Jose defending there maybe thinks that Mr. Whiff is going to hit that ball. And unfortunately, did not realize that Chromace is coming in. And Chromace is having one heck of a game right now. 4 goals and 3 saves. Almost up to 1,000 points, and there's still 2 minutes left in the match. Almost.
Whips goes for the ball. Dirty Jose with the touch. Dajabu. Dirty Jose again. Oh.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate miss on a good opportunity for the Dragons. They need to be executing on those if they want to win this match the way this Hydras team has come out.
That's definitely key at this point. Okay, Chromace again, potentially. This time, Dirty Jose seems to save. And Mr. Whiff scores.
Boy, this is game 1. It's just all Hydras. Good long shot.
Definitely a very one-sided game so far.
I don't feel like we often see timeouts after game 1, but I feel like if it's weighted this much in one way, I'm almost surprised if we might not see one.
Definitely that could help the Dragons.
Yeah, they need to figure out something because whatever they're doing right now does not seem to be working. The Hydras are all over them. And the Hydras, again, they seem very ready to go, hitting all their shots, executing on every opportunity.
Mace. Dirty Jose puts it in the corner. Dajabu's going up the wall with it. What a bump. Dirty Jose scores! And that's the first goal for the Dragons.
This is a nice setup from Daijabu, basically realizing that ball's not on target, going instead for the bump and gets a nice Goomba stomp on Mr. Whiff. Dirty Jose cleaning up that ball.
Here's a good
potentially
question.
setting up their Brazil.
Yep, I was about to say that. I was about to ask you, do you think we could potentially see a Brazil here, Freak?
I think there's definitely a chance, but a small one at that. I mean, I feel like the way the Hydras have been playing, they've not been letting goals in easily. But as I say that, maybe... No, Mr. Whiff is going to clear that out. Looks like game 1 is going to come to a close. And that game was all Hydras.
Oh, Brazil.
And now as we look at the stats, you can see from a pressure standpoint, offensive standpoint, very heavily weighted in the Hydras' favor. Both teams coming in with the same number of saves, but when you're just putting in that many more shots, you're putting in 4 additional shots, you're coming ahead with more goals. But I think it's also, Alyssa, too, the accuracy of the Hydras team. I mean, they were shooting very well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's interesting to see the Hydras do this, considering even the Dragons are it's a 12 sal and a 12.5 playing, but that shows salary doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, especially at this point where players can have developed it throughout the season. There can be a lot to do with team chemistry. So I'm really curious to see how the Dragons will adapt. Is there anything, if you were coaching the Dragons, is there anything you would recommend that they do?
Definitely try and adjust. Maybe just try and bump more and not give the Hydras as much space.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got to get the Hydras uncomfortable and not. They're getting beat to the ball a lot, and those beats are coming on shots or open net opportunities. So very curious to see how they respond. Again, when we look at game 1 of the last Adept series that we just had on stream, went very heavily in favor of the Owls, and then the rest of the series was all Vipers.
Looks like our players are joining for game 2.
There we go. Yeah, they took their time.
Yeah. They talked things through and figured things out a little bit. Okay. Dirty Jose. Chromace. Ooh, just off a little bit. Dirty Jose in their corner with it. Mr. Whiff's up on the wall with it. Dirty Jose potentially getting in. Nope. Mr. Whiff's was there.
Good save by Mr. Whiff, but unfortunately hits that one back to center.
The Dragons scored first.
Yeah, and you can tell, what Mr. Whiff's intended to do there, trying to get a hard clear across his net, but unfortunately ends up basically passing it directly to the Dragons. And in game number 2, Alyssa, we have the Dragons scoring first.
Yep. Okay. Dirty Jose misses. Dajibu's going for it. What a demo. Whiffs touches the ball. Dajibu's ready for it. Oh. Whiffs misses.
A great opportunity there from Whiffs. Unfortunately, didn't have enough boost, didn't have enough momentum to be able to get it, and that's a good opportunity for Dajibu.
Dajibu scores.
And Chromace, I feel like, just gave him that ball. Unfortunately, he did. This is kind of the 2 goals now that have come from the Dragons, basically off of Hydra passes. Definitely does not want to get that touch. You either need to hit that a lot harder or towards the side of the field. So, interestingly, Alyssa, we are seeing the momentum swing a little bit back in the favor of the Dragons.
I mean, things can turn around at any time. Mr. Whiff's with the touch. Dirty Jose trying to go up.
Chromace trying to go back and collect boost, but
Jose.
Oh, great save coming in. Just able to get out the crossbar, but Dirty Jose is right there. Mr. Whiff's able to get that ball clear, but that ball is still in a dangerous position, and the Dragons are lurking. Not the touch that Mr. Whiff's wanted, but fortunately not an immediate threat. That's a good center ball, and well scored by Dajibu. Great pass from Dirty Jose too, and these Dragons players have really decided to step it up in game 2, Alyssa.
Whatever they talked about during that minute between games, it helped.
Absolutely. Almost a kickoff goal. Definitely not what you want to see if you're the Dragons and coming back this game. Dajibu looks like he's getting it clear down. Mr. Whiff's able to get a touch. hitting that center, but I don't know to who. Nobody's there, unfortunately, and Dirty Jose is going to challenge it. And Alyssa, the Hydras have really got to be careful with some of these balls that I think they're trying to go for passes, but they're maybe not communicating enough, and they're hitting it center right to the Hungry Dragons.
Ooh, right over the ball. That's unfortunate. Dajibu's in the corner with it.
Daichibu able to clear that ball out. But Promace with enough boost, able to hit that back center. Dirty Jose is there, but that could be a dangerous if he's not able to beat Mr. Whiffs.
Mr.
Whiffs is collecting that ball. And does have a position to turn on it. Can he get this on net? No, unfortunately. Promace just off 2. Cannot get the double. I think that's wide. That was a tough shot to make and a valiant opportunity. I think Daijibu, just going to go for the air dribble, potential 50. You know, at this point, I think the Dragons are up enough that wasting time is just good for them. They don't really need another goal.
They just need to hold them off at this point.
Yeah, certainly not as dominant of a win as the Hydras got in Game 1, but a win is a win.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter how it happens. It just has to be a win. Dirty Jose's up on the wall. We got 1 minute remaining. Dajibu with the clear. Is that in? Dajibu scores that.
Daijibu is like, don't steal my goal, Dirty Jose. So he's like, fine, I'll pass it. And at this point, it's looking pretty tough for this game to come back the Hydra's way.
Nothing is impossible, though.
That is true. I think if you are the well, there's goal number 1.
Exactly. 3 more goals, 43 seconds. Let's not count them out.
And you know, even if the Hydras don't win this game, just getting the momentum back in their favor is critical.
Exactly.
The last thing you want.
Okay. Whiffs with the touch.
Oh, unfortunately misses that.
Promace?
Promace is able to keep it safe. Gonna look to hit that off. Does get challenged by Dirty Jose, but able to get the favorable 50. Daijibu trying to keep possession. Does get 50'd.
Wall. Mr. Whiffs going off the wall with it. Daijibu takes the touch.
You know, something I'm surprised we haven't seen much from either team thus far, Alyssa, is not a lot of bumper demo plays coming in. I feel like that's an area.
We've seen a few demos, not that many.
Yeah, I feel like it's an area of the game that we could see more. Good save coming in from the Hydras. And while it wasn't as significant of a victory as the Hydras enjoyed in Game 1, the Dragons do come back and tie the series up.
So we have a 1-1 series.
From a pressure standpoint, I mean, right back in the Dragons' favor, 10 shots to 4. So they're actually outshooting by even a greater margin than the Hydras did in Game 1. Didn't need to make as many saves, certainly on those fewer shots. So I don't know. Do you feel, Alyssa, like the Hydras changed up their game style at all in Game 2, or was that all on the Dragons?
I mean, I feel like they definitely did change it up. They were definitely putting more pressure on them, and whatever they were doing, besides that in comms, it helped a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like for some reason maybe it was the way the Dragons were playing, but I feel like the Hydras weren't playing as aggressive as they were in Game 1. They almost seemed to take their foot off the gas. And that can definitely feel hard in a series. You don't want to get the feeling that like you peaked too early. You had a really good Game 1 and then your opponents take over from there. So always very interested to see what type of adjustments are made after a game like that. And is this one of those, I like to call them pendulum series, that just swings back and forth from one game to the next?
Those are always the most interesting series to see, though.
That is true.
Because you wonder who's going to come out on top.
Now, these players, for whatever reason, do really like to take a while to join, whether it's out of respect. I don't want to join before they're ready. I can appreciate that.
Definitely.
But
And we have them joining up for game 3.
and it looks like a car change out of Daijibu. Looks like he changed to the Ford Bronco.
Interesting choice.
And after a win, too. I always find it's interesting when people car change after a win.
Dajibu goes for the touch there.
That ball,
Ooh.
just off.
Hits the post. Dajibu with the touch. Promise is there.
They get one more. That ball's in an awkward position. I think nobody's there to finish it. Daijibu's able to collect that. Gonna try and go for the flick, but he might get demoed. Just dodge it.
Oh.
Mr. Whiff's able to clear it.
What a dribble, though.
And all with no boost, too.
Very true.
Dirty Jose challenging quickly. Oh, that's a surprising miss from Daijibu there, but fortunately Dirty Jose is there to help him out. Mr. Whiff does get the beat.
Daijibu is going for it. Dirty Jose goes for it. Sends it to the corner. Mr. Whiff misses it off the wall. Dirty Jose sends it towards the net. Chromace with the save.
Daijibu gonna try and take the other mid boost, but unfortunately giving up possession and going for that mid boost.
Dirty Jose gets the ball. Dirty Jose took the mid boost.
Both of the Dragons players seem to go on that one. A little bit of a miscommunication. Daijibu does get that clear, but Chromace is waiting right there patiently. And a miss coming in. Mr. West with 0 boost, not able to win that 50.
Chromace gets a touch. He's gonna go off the wall. Dirty Jose with the save.
Oh, great opportunity here from the Dragons.
And Daijibu with the open net goal. And Dirty Jose with the assist.
Great 50 coming in there from Daijibu, able to control that. And, that's the longest Alyssa we've gone into any of these games thus far. 2 minutes without any goals. So much less offense in this game 3 than we've seen in either of the first two matches.
The Dragons struck again first. Mr. Whips goes off the wall with it. Dirty Jose. With the shot.
Nice play by Dirty Jose there. That rhymed unintentionally, but passes to himself. Mr. Whip's kind of in an awkward spot. He probably doesn't want to come out if he's not going to challenge that ball immediately because the offensive player there has much better visibility. And yeah, the Dragons score again. They're looking like the team to beat right now. Hydras had that flurry. Chromace collects.
Gonna take it.
Also going for a double, just misses. It was a good opportunity. Yeah, you think just a few pixels, and he's not making that sound. Instead, it's in.
Chromace gets a touch. Whiffs. Daijibu takes a touch to the corner. Chromace misses.
Going for the Doomsy dish, and he's able to get it in. Nice shot. Yeah, way to block. The only way that Mr. Whiffs is able to clear that ball. And the Dragons are in control in game 3.
It's starting to look at how it did in game 1 again.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head and just kind of wondering what has happened to the Hydras that we saw in game 1, because they look so dominant. They were hitting all of their shots. They looked
And,
extremely dangerous in offense, and we
and
really
what
haven't seen them
happened to
look
the
threatening.
Dragons in game 2? Definitely another interesting question to ask.
Yes. Dirty Jose getting the demo there. Defensive demo is just as helpful as
Daijaboo?
offensive. Nice shot by
Daijaboo, nice
Daijaboo.
shot.
Good pass too by Dirty Jose, and I would say a lot of great team plays coming in from the Dragons as well.
Team plays are
They're
definitely key,
they're
especially if you
playing
have good team
unselfishly.
chemistry. A lot. Mr. Wiss with the touch. Dirty Jose gets the save. Ooh, what a demo!
And that's in.
And it's in for Dirty Jose! At this point, the Hydras just need to get on the board, just even to help their mental.
Yeah, just looking at the stats, I mean, they've only got 3 shots to the Dragons' 9 thus far. They're just really not getting a lot of offensive opportunities. They need to maybe try some more team plays, to try some bump and demo plays. They've got to try something different, because whatever they've been doing the past couple games has not worked against
Another
the Dragons.
demo. Mr. Whiffs. Dirty Jose with the touch. Chrome's gonna be there.
Good save by
Good
Chrome's
corner.
there. Dirty Jose challenging quickly, able to get it clear.
Chrome goes off the wall with it.
Daijaboo getting kind of the under fake there, and a favorable 50. He should still be able to get back that ball. Gonna let Dirty Jose take it instead.
Dirty Jose. And a demo to end the game.
And we have a shutout in game number 3 by the Dragons. So really a huge momentum swing from game 1, Alyssa. I mean, if the game 1 was all, Hydras, this game was all Dragons. At no point
Yeah.
did it feel like, maybe with the exception of that almost double touch by Chromace, that the Hydras were close to scoring.
Okay, I can't wait to. Okay.
Daijaboo probably doing another car change. So
I wonder
he's
what car we'll
in
see next.
one in the Fennec, now one in the Bronco. What is he coming out with next? I
Let's
do
see.
wonder if we're going to see a double Scarab team at some point.
That would
Certainly a
be
possibility.
absolutely cool.
But yeah, when we look, you can't see the stats, or we can't see the stats right now for Daijaboo as you left, but 7 shots in that game, so really putting up a lot of offense. The Hydras have got to start attacking the ball and giving less time, especially in the midfield.
And our teams are joining again.
We've got the Jeep, it looks like.
Ooh.
He's sticking at least with the Octane hitbox.
Chromace with the touch.
An awkward ball.
Mr.
Wiss does a very good job to keep that safe, but
Daijaboo?
that ball is just on.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Looks like Dirty Jose is going to go up on the wall for it. Mr. Wiss is there. Chromace gets it to the corner. Daijaboo with the touch. Dirty Jose. I wonder how long it will take a team to score this time, since we had... How long last time was it?
Yeah, we had it went just on over 2 minutes before we had our first goal in the last game. So just over a minute now. That's just high. But the Hydras are certainly right there. Mr. Whiff's almost able to follow that up and get the goal in. Dirty Jose is back and defending. Mr. Whiffs does put that ball center, but Daijibu should have this clear. It's a very good clear at that. Mr. Whiffs
Following in the corner
kind of an
for it.
awkward spot, and again, Daijibu not able to maybe get the center touch he was looking for, but Dirty Jose is there. Can Daijibu turn this ball? Oh, almost an own goal.
But Dirty Jose is there to help out his teammate.
This was an impressive save that almost was an own goal, but unfortunately, Dirty Jose is there to clear it. And again, a little bit earlier this game, we have the Dragons scoring first.
Okay, we got Mr. Jose and Dirty Jose on the kickoff. Daijibu scores.
And that is definitely unfortunate. The last thing you want to do is yield a kickoff goal right after getting scored on. So I'm a bit surprised I haven't seen it yet. I feel like there has to be a timeout.
Definitely, the Hydras need it at this point. Dirty Jose goes up on the wall for it. Daijibu's there. Promace. Mr. Whiffs.
Ball's in an awkward position, but Daijibu able to get it out over Chromace, gets demoed for his trouble.
Definitely a good demo. Dirty Jose is right on his tail.
Whips does get the boost, but well defended by Dirty Jose there. And again, unfortunate miscommunication by the Hydras. Chromace had an opportunity to at least keep pressure, if not get a shot on.
Daijibu. Whew, that was close. Dirty Jose puts in the corner.
That's a dangerous spot. Daijibu has lost time.
He's there!
And I feel like, Alyssa, we're seeing some panic set in from the Hydras. They're both just kind of flailing themselves at that ball. And I feel like we saw some miscommunication on the offensive end as well. And it's tough. When you're in a series like this against a tough team, it is hard to maintain the mental the entire time. But they've got to find a way to get it back.
Jose's there? Yeah, I mean, definitely the Hydras need to take that time out, maybe take a few deep breaths, and just talk things over.
Yeah, but whatever they're doing right now, not working.
Chromace is going up.
He doesn't have any boost left. Well defended by Daijibu, but that ball is still in a dangerous spot.
Very dangerous.
Dirty Jose is able to save it.
Very lucky save there. And Chromace strikes first on the Hydras, and they get their first goal of the game.
Yeah, nice passage of play here, really just keeping the Dragons pinned into their goal. Daijibu without boost. Dirty Jose was able to get boost, but not back in time. So if the Hydras can make more sustained pressure.
The Hydras a little bit.
Exactly.
Dirty Jose with the touch. Mr. Whiffs. Going off the wall. Looks like Daijibu's going to be there.
A little bit of a soft touch. Unable to get a 50 to follow it. Mr. Whiff's now in possession. Going to go for a shot. Not the best shot. Should be easily defended by Daijibu, who's going to go for a follow-up. Gets that into the Hydra's corner, but Dirty Jose is there.
Mr. Whiffs was there.
By Mr. Whiffs.
Dirty Jose. Can he get it?
Very hard to save.
And Dirty Jose got it!
This is the tricky part. If you're not exactly in communication on clears like that go into the sidewall, your teammate's going ahead, that can be a center pass to your teammate, or your opponent, rather, as we just saw there. So, unfortunately, the Dragons are not letting up.
Chromace? Okay, good. They got in the corner.
Oh no!
Dirty Jose strikes again. That's 3 goals for Dirty Jose this game.
I mean, Mr. Whiff's assuming he's got time to go get boost, not realizing his teammate's going to get challenged, and the ball is going to go center. And now a very tough spot again for the Hydras, potentially risking going down 3-1.
Okay. Mr. Wolf has a little bit of time. Dodgeaboo's there. Chromace with the touch.
The ball is just off.
Just off a little bit, but it's okay. Dodgeaboo's there. Maybe we'll have our Brazil this game.
Yeah, we didn't get one before. Will we be going to South America in this game?
I don't know. Maybe the Dragons need to get their passports ready.
Not a bad thought. Chromace and Daijaboo, that 50 is very favorable. Oh my gosh, and an Eagles moment.
They just need
Sets
to
up the
keep
Brazil.
like this for Brazil. Or maybe they want to go to Barcelona.
That is also possible. Yeah, I would be shocked if we don't see a Hydras timeout after this game. Being down 3-1 in this series and having lost 3 in a row.
Mr. West with the touch. Oh, it's gonna roll. Oh, Mr.
Great
West is
save.
there.
Really valiant save.
Dragons, get the Brazil. 3-1 Dragons.
Yeah, very dominant win coming
Hydras
in.
really need to take the timeout at this point because it is match point.
Yeah, they've got to win 3 in a row now. And the way that the Dragons have been playing, that is looking extremely tough. I'll say that there were more signs of life from the Hydras in offense, but some of the mistakes that they made,
But
unfortunately.
they could do it, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. They've just got to execute really cleanly, and they've got to make sure that they're cleaning up those defensive rotations, offensive rotations, and really not panic. I know that the Dragons put them in uncomfortable positions. You've got to not panic. You've got to trust your teammate to make the hit and not double commit, because that got the both of them a few times as well. But surprisingly, no timeout taken. So
definitely an interesting decision.
Yeah, we are still going. Maybe they feel the 45 seconds plus whatever time it takes to join is enough. But we'll see if we see any significant game plan changes. I don't feel, Alyssa, we've really seen much of a change from this Hydras team in terms of how they're playing. And we did have another card change from Daijaboo, this time back in the Fennec. So I guess he's completed his circle. He's back in the Fennec again.
Dodgeaboo's there.
Smart, soft first touch. Good save though by Mr. Whiffs there.
Dirty Jose taking it up the wall. Chrome's ace is there. A little back and forth there.
Miss off of that aerial touch, but Daijaboo is able to touch it awkwardly enough to keep Mr. Whiffs from hitting it, and Dirty Jose is there to challenge that ball.
Definitely a touch there.
Dirty Jose going to get the boost steal after surrendering that 50 loss.
Mr. Whiffs gets the touch. Dirty Jose misses, unfortunately. Chrome ace. Oh. Sent in the corner.
Oh no.
Oh, what a
Good save by Chrome Ace.
from Chrome Ace. Okay. Looks like touch off Daijaboo's car. Dirty Jose gets it. Daijaboo sends it to the corner. Mr. Whiffs starts taking it downfield. Corner.
Oh,
Chrome Ace.
Dragon's able to escape that. almost 2 minutes through the game and no goals scored yet. Both teams have had opportunities. Is this the first one? Right as I say that, Caster Curse.
Caster Curse. Dragons strike first again.
Now this is a tough spot for the Hydras to be in. I feel like this has been a close game thus far, but they really need to go for some plays. They've got to look for a demo.
Gets the save. Daijabu off the wall. Promise is there.
Trying to control that ball. He's getting challenged by Dirty Jose as soon as that ball comes far enough away. That ball's hit towards center.
Right now, the Hydras got to put their all in because right now it's now or never.
Yeah, exactly. This is season on the line time.
Exactly. Promise with the touch.
As usual, though, the Dragons are so quick to challenge in the midfield. Promise gets a very good 50. Can he follow that up? Does get another 50 and steals the boost, but Daijabu is able to clear that ball pretty safely. Mr. Wisp there, though, to keep the pressure on. Does bounce that ball down. Daijabu is there, trying to keep that center. Chromace is there for a shot, and that is on.
And the Hydras are on the board.
Very nice passage of play there. Mr. Wisp able to keep possession away. Daijabu in an awkward enough spot, and Chromace, excellent placement on that. So we've got a game with 2 minutes left, just over 2 minutes, 1-1.
Mr. Wisp. Promise. What a demo! Daijabu's up on the wall. Can he get it?
Oh, double commit from the Dragons
just a little bit
players there.
over.
But Mr. Whiffs is playing pretty far back.
Mr. Whiffs needs to be there. He's there. Chromace.
That ball is off, but in an awkward spot. Daijabu is able to keep it safe. Mr. Whiffs again able to keep pressure on. Dirty Jose getting a good clear.
Okay.
Daijabu hitting that back into his own half, but it is an own goal? No. But Mr. Whiffs is right there. That's an awkward ball that's on target.
Oh, Mr. Whiffs! And the Hydras have the lead. This is a good sign for the Hydras.
They have fought back, and they have taken their first lead since game 1. Seems hard to believe it's been that long, but they have not led since game 1. So this has been very hard fought thus far.
Promise. Daijabu.
Drilling that, unfortunately, too hard. Chromace going off the wall.
Promise.
Again, bit of a double commit there from the Dragons players.
Daijabu.
Oh, Daijabu.
Daijabu scores, and we're tied again.
With the hook shot, feinting a little bit, going to the other side. Catches Mr. Whiffs, starting to go for the boost, but he actually had plenty. I understand that reflex deeply. 50 seems to be going in the Dragons' favor. Dirty Jose is there. That's an awkward ball, but well defended by Mr.
Going towards
Whiffs.
Daijabu. Mr. Whiffs gets another touch. Dirty Jose takes a touch.
Oh no, not like this!
Oh, Dirty Jose scores! And now the Dragons have the lead. Will they close out the series, or will the Hydras score again?
That's an unfortunate miss there by Chromace. I think Whiffs expects him to hit that, and they just are caught in an awkward spot. You hate to let a goal in like that with less than a minute left in a game you're on the point of losing the series. Could Daijabu get one more? No. Mr. Whiffs does send that ball back. The Hydras have got to go for this ball immediately.
The ball.
Chromace hitting that.
Dirty Jose
is there.
Touch.
Mr. Whiffs hitting that. Is that in? Is it in? It's just off. So close. Popping that ball in an awkward position. Feels back up by Daijabu. Dirty Jose hits that ball clear, and that could be it if they can get one more touch on it. Chromace keeping it, but nobody's there. Nobody's there to keep the ball up.
What a series. Yeah,
great series. I mean, the Hydras, an unfortunate misplay that led to the Dragons taking the lead. But you also have to get a lot of credit for the Dragons to the way that they turned that around after game one was so heavily weighted against them. Now seeing if we'll get them in here for an interview. Let me confirming that. Probably only going to be allowed if they praise their GM, is my guess. And it looks like we've got them. Dirty Jose, how are you doing, sir?
Hello.
Doing fantastic.
How you feel about
So,
the series?
Scarab by choice, as I'm understanding it.
Oh yes, it is. Well, I made the conscious choice to pick the ugliest car in the league because you see so many Fenix, so many Octanes, so many, you know what I mean, so many just pedestrian vehicles. You really want to stand out, and that's why I crafted this masterpiece that you saw in the game. It was complete with the Flintstone wheels and the hustle brow eyes that you see on the top, and it's the goofiest car. So when you win games, it just it really rubs salt in the wounds when you're losing to a Scarab.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, definitely, yeah, playing that 3D chess there. So what happened in game one, and like what were the comms like between game one and game two between you and Daijibu?
Well, in game one, we got all the mistakes out of the way. We were like, you know what? Let's just commit to playing like absolute garbage in the first game. Get all of those mistakes out of our body, and then let's actually play the game after that. And
That's
first,
fair.
my teammate Daijobu, God bless him, man. He was so patient with me in that first game because I was, as you guys saw, I was whiffing everything, missing everything, could not hit the ball, could not defend anything. And he just, he kept us together. He kept us focused. And when we needed him to step up, you saw what he did on the field. So it was great. After that,
Yeah.
we were just rolling after that. At the end, we were just laughing, having a good old time,
Well, definitely a top tier strategy. Feel free to use it for your own games. Just make all your mistakes in the first game and then never make any.
Exactly.
That's brilliant strategy. What do you guys feel like? I feel a little bit like the Hydras let off the gas in games kind of 2 through 4. Maybe a little bit back on in game 5, but that misplay at the end that led to the game-winning goal. But do you guys get that same perspective?
Yeah, I think so. They kept it really competitive. With the exception of I think it was game one of them. They were like it was like we rolled them. But other than that, they were relatively close games. They put up a hell of a fight, and it was a good set for sure.
Yeah. So how are you guys feeling about your chances of making it to finals and winning everything overall?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I don't want to look too far into the future. I kind of want to take it, week by week. I don't want to overlook any opponent, on to
well,
whoever we face in the next round, I give respect to every
potentially
team,
who you will be facing next round, I believe, is the winner of the Huskies and Gators match.
Okay. I think I played against the Gators in week 8 or 9, but I've never played against the Huskies. So just because I'm unfamiliar with them, I would say that I'm probably more afraid of them in the next round. You know that, and their record speaks for itself, 8-2, just like us.
Very true.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
would
the
say
Gators have 4-6, and then, like you said, the Huskies have 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it looks on paper like the Huskies would win that one, but it's
You
playoff
never
Rocket
know.
League now.
Anything is possible.
Anything can happen.
Yep.
So anyone you want to give credit to? Anyone you want to shout out?
I'm actually blanking on any names, so I'll just shout out my brothers. Love them very much. My brother Joseph, brother Brandon.
Smart.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm contractually obligated by your GM to say you want to thank your GM, right?
Oh yes, of course. And my GM Galloway, because he had the foresight to pick me up off the street where I was just a humble, begging Rocket League struggling player, and he found me in an alleyway, just struggling to survive. And he took mercy upon me, drafted me to the team, and here we are. So I have him to thank for all of this, of course.
I mean,
Could I have
Galloway is
forgotten?
awesome. Hong Kong.
Of course. He's the best goose around.
Yep.
Alyssa, any other questions that you'd like to ask Mr. Jose here?
So what are you guys going to do to prepare for the rest of playoffs? Do you guys have a routine that you guys do? Do you guys run scrims? Do you do in-houses? Do you play against the higher teams for the Dragons?
It's actually funny that you bring that up. We actually did some in-houses 2 days ago. Anyway, I would say our Origin team, they put up a hell of a fight. They were keeping it close
Okay.
every single game. But that just goes to show you the type of Origin team that we have. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they do great things. I think they play tomorrow or either tomorrow or later tonight. I'm not actually sure, but I'm hoping for great things for our Origin team because we did in-houses with them. And we probably should do in-houses with the expert team too whenever we want to get rolled by them. But yeah, in-houses I think are the tool that we use to really, help secure the dub this week.
Definitely.
Smart play and a good way to maintain the server activity and things
And
like
also
that.
you get to know the other people in your franchise as well and build relationships with them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Love my Dragon Bros.
Yeah.
Will we ever see a clean Jose? Like, is it like a don't shower for the playoffs type of thing?
I think maybe next season. Maybe I'll try that username.
Well, that's everything that I've got. Alyssa, anything else?
That's everything I got too.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the joy of getting to watch you play, Jose. Thanks to Daijibu. Thanks to the Hydras. Thanks for the other teams that were on stream earlier tonight. We've got fantastic Rocket League coming at you tomorrow night, including myself, if you want to see me embarrass myself. But anything you want to shout out or say, Alyssa, before we sign off?
Nope. Not that I can think of.
Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, tonight. Hope to see you all back here tomorrow for some
And good
more
luck to everyone in
FDL.
the rest of their playoff matches.
Good luck and good night.
Hell yeah, go Dragons! Woo!